not lying. Okay. Okay. Now I'm pressing the button.
Adam doesn't need
Adam doesn't need what?
math.
Adam needs all the math. Hey now, it's your boy PSA Sitch here with another Sunday live stream with everyone's favorite friended forever, who we learned can't do math before the stream, but it's okay. I will teach everyone in stream math. I know it's very exciting for you guys. But before that, Adam, what's going on this week?
Well, I have a couple things on my list here. I've got this Yang debate clip that I wanted to look at. There was a third presidential debate. Did you watch it? I kind of watched half of it.
I didn't watch any of it.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
I only watched the debates when we were going to stream them because they're really boring otherwise.
It was pretty boring, to be honest with you. But the big takeaway is all of Biden's. Oh, man. Biden's like melting down in public. I mean, it got to the point where I was just watching to see if his eye exploded. So there's another thing. Tim Pool screwed up a bit. Sitch wants to.
Hey, why is Baby Sitch on the screen? What's going on here?
I'm sorry. I'll put it back to man.
Someone's saying there's an echo. Who's echoing?
Echo? No, there shouldn't be an echo. You said
I don't hear an echo. They're lying.
Yeah,
they're fucking with us. Anyway.
Okay, so there's Tim Pool screwed up, and Sitch caught him in a way that none of us will be capable of catching him because it's like involves statistical math.
Wait. Don't say catch because you're like this isn't a Tim Pool exposed BTFO. Okay, he made a mistake. He made a math mistake in a video. I privately DM'd him. He didn't respond, but he saw it.
So now we're blasting him.
So now I'm just going to talk about it. I'm just going to talk about it on the stream for a little bit, okay? So look, it's just a math mistake. I understand.
So an Adam debated King Communist Vosh. And yeah, and you were in the. I noticed you were in the chat. I didn't have the chat up while I was debating him, so
I was in the chat.
You're gonna give. Sitch is gonna give his take and counsel me on future debates and whatnot. So let's. Do you want to do the Yang clip first? You have it up at the same time, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So we're gonna play this at the same time, since we don't have it to watch together. So 3, 2, 1.
You had the lowest amount of speaking time again tonight. Does that frustrate you for the third straight debate that you're not getting the time of the rest of the candidates?
You know what's fun now is I've started to just gauge how optimally impactful the time I get is. And as long as I'm making an impact in the time I get, then I'm doing great. Our measurements from the last debate, I think I got the least speaking time of any candidate in Detroit, and we raised over $1 million in the hours immediately afterwards. So Americans can tell when someone is calling out the real problems and real solutions, and happily I can do that in whatever time I'm given.
Are you being? You had the lowest amount of speaking.
So what's his moniker? The MATH. Instead of MAGA,
math?
MAGA, it's math.
Math, yeah. You know, it was interesting. You see how you swang?
I know, I did. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it, because it's.
So was that like a nervous tick?
Totally nervous. Yeah, completely nervous. It doesn't, and he's got his hands in his pockets too. Doesn't scream leader, screams wallflower. But.
Well, you know, he's a small Asian. He's a diminutive. What's the word? I can't say it. He's a small Asian man. Okay.
No. He's an American. Well, I thought we talked about this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so racist. Excuse me. He's a small Asian American man.
No, actually, Adam did something unheard of.
What did Adam do?
I was curious. Okay, I believe most people are just a little tiny bit racist.
Oh, really?
And I think the Chinese, like in China, are probably really racist. And I was like, I wonder if we had a Chinese president, if that would help us with the negotiations with China. So I thought, I wonder if Yang is Chinese. So I Googled Yang's ethnicity, and it's baller, man. You guys got to Google it. You got to Google it.
It is funny what it said, but I guess it makes sense. You know, they don't want a repeat of the birth certificate fiasco with Obama.
I wondered if it was Google cooking the books though, like, because it was hard. It was hard to find his real ethnicity. It was.
What is his real quote unquote ethnicity?
Well, I don't even know.
It's Chinese, right? Didn't he say his father grew up in a Chinese peanut farm or something?
They have it as Taiwanese, so I don't know if that's different though.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is Thai, yeah. So he'd be bad because I think the Chinese hate the Thai, don't they?
Oh my goodness. So let's forget we had this conversation.
Just forget scrap it. It's a bad plan. It's a bad idea. Okay.
So, but the sway is not good, and some of his responses, I did see his responses from the debate, and they were, there was a couple that he really seemed like he was losing his way, like he was lost, like he had tried to memorize the responses and just wasn't good. I mean, it's a lot of pressure being in these debates. So, and he may improve over time, but
that's what we said in the other debates. He was not performing well in these debates.
Yes. Yeah. But this answer,
I mean, I still like him.
This answer's totally baller. Like he said, because the intro, I saw there was a ton of articles on his introduction. The first thing he said about going to yang.com or whatever and signing up for the $1,000 a month, his signature proposal is the freedom dividend. So that got a lot of play in the press. That was persuasion good.
Yes. Well, I guess we don't know. I mean, this response was good persuasion. We don't know how effective it was unless we can see, he said he raised $1 million, but like, did everyone else raise more than that? Or did he raise the most? Like, isn't that really the key?
Yeah, I think he raised more. And I think I saw another poll going around saying he had more Twitter follows after the debates, all the debates as well.
Yeah, so that would be good. That'd be a good marker.
Yeah, but the reason why I think it's interesting is because everyone always says what matters about these debates is the sound bite, the sound clip, the moment. But I guess if you're talking less, you have less of an opportunity to make that sound clip. But you also have less of an opportunity to make that gaffe that just takes you out of the race.
That's true. See, Joe Biden should be trying to talk as little as possible.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, this is the perfect strategy because the more Joe Biden talks, the less likely he's going to be in the race tomorrow.
I mean, I don't know. It's weird to me. I still hear lots of people say, oh, he's definitely going to be the nominee. I don't know how they're saying that.
Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
they haven't watched any of the
so
debates.
obvious. To me, it's so obvious he's going to lose. He's going to get kicked out.
Those people don't have the internet.
I don't know.
So Tim Pool.
Anyways.
You want to get into the Tim Pool stuff?
Did you want to do that or your debate first?
Well, we can do the debate first.
Okay, let's do the debate
first. That's what people are interested in. I don't know if anyone saw it. It was on Modern Day Debates channel. I don't know. I don't think there's a link in the description or anything, but you can search Modern Day.
Do you want me to put a link in the description?
No, I don't care. No, it's not a big deal. So.
Yeah, so Adam debated Vosh.
Mm-hmm. Is that how you pronounce it? Is that officially how you pronounce his name?
I don't know. It's got a unit, so it's not Vash. He's not Vash the Stampede.
Oh,
he's
I gotcha.
Vosh.
I gotcha.
So, and Adam took the pro-capitalist side, and Vosh took the pro-dirty communist side. Overall, I told Adam I thought the debate was kind of boring. It's not really his fault. They just, I don't know, something about it. No one really got into interesting parts of the conversation, really.
What would be the interesting conversation? Because I feel like that's partially my fault because I could have steered the conversation anywhere.
I don't know. I guess you could yell at each other, call each other fucking losers or something.
Okay, well, that's something to consider.
I know it's not helpful. No, I know. I'm just joking. I don't know the answer to that question. Okay, I'm not going to be very helpful. This is just me criticizing.
Right.
No, the only, I mean, I thought you did fine. I only had two issues. Was that maybe I missed it, but I don't think he ever established what kind of government exactly would exist under his system. Because then you kept calling out like situations where like, well, how does this X work under your system? How does the bank work under your system? And you were working under the assumption of like a more standard communist system. But then he would say like, oh, no, under my system, it's not going to work like that. But so we never knew what the fuck he was talking about because I don't think he ever explained his system of government.
Right. Yeah. Some of the people in the chat and in the comments were saying like I was strawmanning his argument, which I was like, oh, no, I fully understand his argument. His argument is that people want that in his system, people will still start businesses, but they'll know that when they start their business, all the people they hire will have power over them. And then magically they'll be incentivized to get into this situation.
I thought you could have pushed back when because you said that. You said, well, wait a minute. Because, okay, for those that didn't watch the debate, Vosh wants all businesses to be collectively owned.
Right.
You know, we talked about this on other streams. So therefore, everyone who is literally working at your company owns some percentage of it, or
Right.
presumably an equal percentage. And so Adam rightly says, like, well, why the fuck would someone start a business if they know that they're not going to have control over the business? So then Vash said something really fucking stupid, which was, well, you know, you're going to hire people that share your ideology. And it's like, wait, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Because and then Vash brought the example of like, oh, you're starting a tech company. You and 3 other of your friends start a company. It's like, okay, maybe that works if you're starting like a tech company. It doesn't work if you're opening a fucking restaurant. Okay. Yeah. You're not going to hire waiters and waitresses and servers based on their fucking ideology, are you?
Isn't that kind of illegal to ask too? I never jumped on that.
It's not illegal.
Uh-huh.
Ideology is not a protected class.
Okay. So we could say, yeah, we only hire Republicans here. Like, what?
Yeah, you could. But but that's to me, that's such like a baffling worldview. Like, oh yeah, okay. So now every time you hire someone, you have to ask their ideology. And again, this only works. That system would only work with very small businesses. If you have some giant company, you're going to ask your 100 employees, you know, to make sure everyone's ideologically in line with the direction of the company. Like, that's fucking absurd.
Yeah, and he even said, like, why would you start such a large company? Like 100 people. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I think like 4,000 people work for Google. And that's small.
And that is small, yeah. No, it's like, yeah, all the people that work for Amazon or something. I mean, it's just, he was saying crazy shit. He has a really fucked up worldview because he was saying like, oh, you know, Elon Musk doesn't deserve ownership of his company because all he does is sit there as an owner and doesn't do anything.
Right.
Which, first of all, assuming Elon Musk is telling the truth, I mean, maybe Vash thinks he's just lying. But when he was on Joe Rogan, he said that he spends like 90% of his day coding.
Yes.
Okay, so he's actually doing engineer work. He's not sitting on his ass, you know, doing nothing. But secondly, as you brought out, Elon Musk is the face of the, or maybe you didn't bring this out, I don't remember, is the face of the company. Right. And if someone is the face of a company, like, that's a skill, okay, to go out there. I mean, Elon Musk fucks it up a lot, but it's a skill to go, not only to choose the direction a company is going to go is a very valuable skill, obviously, but then also to maintain sort of this visual image of your company and to inspire people to care about your fucking product. Like, that's a huge fucking skill and a huge part of making money.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Also, Elon Musk has at many times in his life through his different businesses, like, had himself mortgaged to the hilt just to put as many resources towards like SpaceX or Tesla as possible.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the kind of high risk stuff most normal human beings just don't like to take on. So that in itself is a skill, being able to sleep at night.
Well, see, this is his problem, okay? Because I would agree with him that I do have, and we've talked about this on stream, I do think that there's some weird things about ownership and bosses and the amount of money they make. I do agree that I don't like the way it's set up right now. But he completely goes to this extreme where he invalidates like what a good boss is supposed to do, or what a salesman is supposed to do. Like, he doesn't understand that simply creating a good product is important, but that's only like half. That's only half of the business. The other half is selling it, and he doesn't appreciate that half of it. That, yeah, it does take skill and strategy and capital and all these things to sell the actual product.
Yeah. So
he said something else that was fucking crazy too, which was when you were talking, because your big point during the debate was that the communist system is just going to eliminate, is going to consolidate too much power in the hands of too few,
and stifle innovation.
And
that consolidation will stifle innovation.
Right.
Yeah.
And so his response to that at one point was, well, right now we live in a system where power is consolidated among like a few hundred people, and under my system, you know, it would be consolidated under like 1,000 or 10,000 people, and that's better. And I'm like, but that's the stupidest fucking argument I've ever heard in my life. Like, you're saying like, oh, right now there's too few, you know, I'm just broadening the amount of people that could possibly corrupt the system. It's like, how does that solve the problem? Why should we have a complete systemic shift of our country and our economy and our government just to increase it by a little bit?
Yeah, I never got to say, because he's against UBI too. I brought it up a little bit at the end because I was trying to make I was trying to equate the fact that what UBI is a little bit like what he wants already. But in his video on UBI, he was saying that UBI is too dangerous because it could destabilize the system via inflation. And I was like, what? Like, so you don't think like eliminating the employer-employee relationship is going to destabilize the system, but you think UBI is going to do it?
Well, okay, so here's a question, because the inflation argument for UBI, that's a conservative argument. And I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know if I agree with it. But if everyone gets UBI, so everyone just gets $1,000 a month, or you have a system where all the workers own a part of the company so they get more money that way, like, wouldn't that, under the same idea, create the same supposed inflation as UBI?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because everyone has more. I mean, the whole idea behind the UBI inflation is like, well, everyone has more money, so everything's going to cost more.
Yeah, I don't know about
doesn't
this
make
stuff.
sense to me.
My whole thing is that you have to. Society, there's too many working parts to actually know what's going to happen. Like we try things and make adjustments. That's really the only way to steer the ship of society. Like, thankfully, we're in the place we are now. That's why that's the whole conservative angle, because it's like all risk is all change is at some level of risk.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's, to me, the whole someone just sent me a tweet. Taiwan is Chinese. It calls itself the Republic of China and is the remnants of the pre-communist government. Oh yeah, okay, I forgot about that. So that would mean China would really not like it.
Oh really?
At all.
Oh boo!
Because that's why they don't like each other. Because Taiwan is like, no, we're the real, China, because we're not the communists. China's like, yeah, whatever.
Did you see the clip of Elon Musk talking to the Chinese richest businessman?
No.
Oh God, it's hilarious. You should check it out. It's totally hilarious. Yeah. They talk for 45 minutes about all kinds of different stuff, and Elon Musk is just dumbfounded by a lot of the things he's saying.
Well, is he like saying stupid shit? Like,
yeah, kind of stupid shit. Yeah, they're talking about AI and stuff like that, and Elon Musk is trying to press how dangerous it potentially is, and the guy's just like, it ain't no big deal. It'll take care of itself.
Fucking Chinese people. I mean, anyway, but so, is there anything else you wanted to talk about for the debate?
No.
Your debate.
No.
Okay. Oh, also, Adam finally set up a Streamlabs. I know some people didn't want Google getting their dirty hands on our super chat money.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that something might pop up on the screen if somebody actually uses it, but no guarantees here.
Well, we're going to read it, so it doesn't matter, whatever.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So, final note, you're welcome, Baron, for seeing your tweet. Thank you for reminding. Yeah. I thought Taiwan had some connection with China. I should have remembered. I shouldn't have been so dumb. Anyway, so I guess finally, before we get into Hasan Piker's bizarre inability to make a coherent argument, I want to thank, what's his name? Jetlu, who tweeted me a video and Adam a video about an anti-fascist guy basically complaining about how it's incorrect to label Antifa fascism. And then you watch the video and he basically contradicts himself the whole time. And you're like, oh, his definition totally fits Antifa. So I want to do that video at some point.
Yeah, maybe next week.
Well, I'm not going to actually be here next week. I'm going to be out of town.
What? You're not allowed to go out of town. What are you?
We're going to miss a whole week without Sitch.
Yeah. I want you guys to know that Sitch put this dirty ASMR video in the watch time thing as a joke for me, but I don't approve. This is not family friendly content here, so.
Is that why you're going to play it? So
I'm trying to save your eyes from it. That's why I keep cycling through it here.
No. Just play the beginning. That's where all the shaking part.
No. Let's not. What?
People want to see the shit.
Hey, it worked. Oh my God.
Exactly. That was fun. Well, okay.
I can't believe it worked.
Okay. Adam hates ASMR. So I thought as a joke, I would have it going on and he would just notice. So that's why it's there. I'm not a pervert, I swear.
You didn't hear the Streamlabs thing. Streamlabs went off and a thing popped up in the chat. So
Oh, I didn't see it.
That's why I
so-
was like, woo, it worked.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
God. Took me forever to figure out how to set that thing up.
Where does it show up?
It shows up in the video, but it's on my computer, so you wouldn't see it
Okay.
because it's not like the watch.
So you're
video or
gonna have to
anything.
read it then, because I can't see shit.
But I sent you a link to the Streamlabs stuff. Hold on, we're getting way off topic. So let's
I see. I don't see it.
I'll
don't see
I'll look for that while you explain the stats for Tim.
No, because
Pool.
here's the thing: is I know why. It's because I'd have to create a Streamlabs account and log in to see it.
Yeah,
So I'm just viewing it like a guest.
that's why I sent you the links.
Yeah, but I didn't fucking make it. Okay. Anyways, sorry, folks.
Tim Pool.
Tim
Last
Pool.
thing.
Okay. Last thing. So Tim made a video 2 or 3 days ago. The title is something about. Okay. This is how unprepared I am. About Bill Maher. And he was, excuse me. And the whole point of the video is basically Tim looked at. Can you put that graphic that I sent you up?
Do you know, I'm not sure that I can, but I'll try.
Okay. Well, then if you can't put the graphic up, I'm not even talk about it because it'd be too difficult to explain in words alone.
Okay.
Do you have it up or no?
I don't, not yet, but I'm
Okay.
working on it. So just give the backstory.
Okay, so let me give the background. Okay, so Tim Pool made a video called Bill Maher on MSNBC slams far leftist cancer. Polls show voters more like Trump than Democrats. So I watched it because I was like, okay, I like Bill Maher sometimes. And the part about Bill Maher is fine, that's all fine. But the part we get into trouble is Tim pulls up this poll and he says, the mainstream media shows that this poll is talking about how, that Democrats are more aligned with Joe Biden and all these other candidates than Trump. But if you look at this Daily Caller article, this poll really shows is that the majority of people are actually closer aligned to Donald Trump. Do you have that up?
I do have the graphic up. Yeah, it's very hard to explain. There's a scale of 0 to 100, and 0 is the liberals. This was obviously on the Daily Caller.
Okay, so
they have the liberals at 0.
No. Okay, now so the way the poll worked is that they created a scale of 0 to 100, and they said they wanted people to self-identify where they fell on the scale of 0 to 100. Whereas the lower the number, so 0 would be more liberal. And the higher the number, so 100 would be more conservative. Okay.
Right. This poll has all kinds of problems. You realize that?
Well, okay. So, but the
I want to score myself as a 0 or 100.
Well,
come on.
I don't know. I mean, that didn't bother me. I'm not sure that's an issue, but so anyway, so Tim sees a Daily Caller article, which that made that claim, and then Tim repeats the claim. Now, the problem with this, in which I DM'd Tim and said that the math here is wrong. Okay. Because if you look at it, you can see that it says if they took all people's self-identifications and averaged them, they got the number 54.
Right.
Okay. And then under that, it says Donald Trump 66. So that means the average of all people, Democrats and Republicans. Okay. They took all those numbers, added them together, got an average, and the average number that people put Donald Trump was at 66. And Joe Biden, they have the people average to put him at 40. So you do some basic math and you say, oh, okay, well, Donald Trump is only 12 points away from the average and Joe Biden is 14 points away from the average. Therefore, that means that the average voter is closer to Donald Trump than Joe Biden. Wrong. Okay. The reason this is wrong is because if you look at these sections right to the right of it, you can see it separates the numbers by how the Democrats and the Republicans responded to the question.
Which is the interesting part.
Which is the interesting part.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was really the point of the poll. It wasn't about what the Daily Caller was focusing on or what Tim Pool was focusing on.
Yeah.
So if you look to the right, you see Democrats put themselves at 40.
Right.
So only 14 away from the average, 54. And Republicans put themselves at 75. So 21 points away from the average. Okay.
Right.
So if you guys like your math, you know that when you add extremes and outliers to averages, what happens? It pulls the average away from the center. So what this means is that since Republicans self-identified themselves much further to the right than liberals self-identified to the left, that means that that's going to pull all the numbers to the right.
And the thing that I thought was so fascinating about it is that it seems like it's completely opposite in the real world. It seems like it's the liberals that are, like, they're identifying themselves towards the center, but at the same time, they're super far left. And the Republicans seem more centrist to me, yet they're identifying themselves way on the right.
Right. So, and it was kind of funny too, because Tim's point in the video was he was making the point that, oh, liberals are further to the left. You saying what you were saying. Liberals are further to the left and Republicans are more moderate. When this poll literally shows the exact opposite.
Yeah, but self-identifying is terrible for that kind of stuff.
And you can see the math gets more screwed up too, because if you look through the Democratic column and the Republican column, it just Donald Trump, the Democrats list him as 66, which is the average, while the Republicans list him as 74. So they're pulling Donald Trump again. They're pulling the numbers to the right. And then with Joe Biden, the Democrats put him at 34, so only 4 points away from the average, while the Republicans put him at 22 points.
Yeah, they place him way on the left. They're like, commie!
Which, first of all, I'm sorry, not 22. I'm sorry. I'm reading Elizabeth Warren. I read the
30. Yeah, 31. Okay. Joe Biden is 31, but
yeah. Democrats put Joe Biden at 46, so 6 away from the average, and Republicans put him at 31. Okay, so it's 11 away from the average.
Yes.
So anyway, I don't know if I didn't really want to explain this on chat because I assume most people wouldn't. It's just kind of long and boring. I don't know if anyone understood what the fuck I'm talking about, but I hope everyone understands my explanation of the math and why it's dangerous. It's always dangerous to look at a poll and try to extrapolate information that the poll wasn't designed to extrapolate.
Yes, and it's always great if you can find a poll and you want to make a point, you can pretty much extrapolate anything you want out of it. You just have to jimmy the numbers around a little bit.
Right.
You don't approve of that. Sitch doesn't approve of that.
I don't approve. I don't approve. I'm a good boy. Adam's a bad boy. I'm a good cop.
So did you put the right video in the video player?
You don't want to watch tits jiggle around?
No.
Okay, let me get the right video. I know
we have nice women in our audience, Sitch. They don't want to see this stuff.
I think the nice women want to see the tits jiggle around more than the men, honestly. If I had to guess.
More than Hasan? No way.
No one wants to see Hasan. Come on, let's be real.
So Hasan Piker recently was in the news because he said that America deserved 9/11 and that a senator, or is he a senator? I think he's a congressman.
He's a congressman. Yeah.
What's his name?
Crenshaw.
Dan Crenshaw, who was in Afghanistan, lost his eye to an IED, and Hasan postulated that a brave Afghani soldier had sex with his eye hole, and that's how he lost his eye.
Well, I know this sucks.
To be generous.
I know it sucks, but to be fair to Hasan. Okay. He used the term brave mujahid fighter, or whatever the term is, to describe it. And apparently he was referencing something earlier where that's what America was referring to them when they were supplying them with arms to fight off the Soviets in the 80s. So maybe I think for just that one part of it, he was doing a callback when calling him brave. Okay.
Yes.
Obviously the I sexual line was, I think, a little over the top there.
That was not something that, because the other, who said the brave soldier? That was because we were funding them back in
I don't know. Some people were, apparently the government or someone is using that as a term to describe these people when they were fighting off.
When they were trying to get money out of the government, they were saying these people are brave freedom fighters. Right. Yeah, gotcha.
But the more incendiary comment was when he said that people deserved 9/11.
Yes.
Which obviously is a really fucked up thing.
Horrible thing. Yes.
Yes.
Especially for those of us that lived through 9/11. Grandpa over here.
Right. Yeah, and so yeah, I think we talked about this with Caleb, which is there's the hilarious like hostage video with Hasan and Cenk, where Cenk is like trying to get Hasan just to apologize, and Cenk has this look on his face. He's like, just fucking apologize. Just say you're wrong. Say it's just a mistake. And Hassan's like doesn't want to say that.
No,
it's so fun.
It's like
so
when the
hilarious.
hostage is so. I'm not gonna do it.
He's got the gun there. He's like, you fucking better do it.
Yeah, totally. It's hilarious.
So anyway, let me just read these quick super chats before we start the video. Why am I sober for $5 says Israel is suspected of planting spying devices in the White House. I'm not surprised. They are really nosy. First of all, how dare you? Okay, I saw your subtle anti-Semitism. But I thought they said they had found devices. They weren't in the White House. They were like outside. They're somehow collecting Wi-Fi or cell phone information around the vicinity of the White House. They weren't in the White House. And Scott Adams is making the prediction that that's a fake story. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, you don't believe it's fake, Adam? You think the Jews were spying on us?
I don't know. Yeah, you can't trust these Jews. You know how it is. You know what's going on.
Oh my God. You're all just jealous that we're the chosen people, okay? We got chosen people. Gotta, keep an eye on Trump, okay? You don't know. He's a crazy guy. You don't know what he's gonna do. Matt Turndesky for $2 says, hashtag 6 hour gang. You guys need to have an abrasive side. We both have
an abrasive sigh. Yeah, totally. There's going to be lots of sighing during this video. It's going to be.
It's true. Very abrasive. Oh no, he's saying that we need ASMR, like abrasive sounds. Is that what you want? You want some?
No, please stop. Make it stop. I have a headphone in my ear. So annoying.
Hummer Eduardo Rodriguez Medrano for $5 says Ocean Spray is collectively owned, but is a voluntary ownership. And I think you have to put money to work there.
Really?
So that's it. See, that's interesting. That'd be an interesting system where you have to kind of like pay into it.
That's a lot of authoritarian systems are like that. You got to buy your job.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's kind of that is kind of strange. You are buying a job that could work in certain situations. I'm not opposed to the idea, but
I read this book where this guy got thrown into a Bolivian prison and he had to buy his prison cell. He was freaking sleeping in the hallways. Like they throw you in the prison and you're just like sleeping in the common areas until you can actually get enough money together to buy a jail cell.
That's so fucked up.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why am I sober for another $2 says everyone can opt in to get UBI, even millionaires.
Nice.
That's right.
Yep. That's one of the reasons why Vosh is against it.
He wants it only to go to people who need it.
Well, he also made the argument. Well, he made this weird inflation argument because he was saying that once you get the $1,000 a month, you're going to lose your food stamps, and the landlord can't get the food stamps out of you, but they know that they can get the UBI money out of you, so they're going to raise your rent. And I was thinking, talk about micromanaging society. Like he wants to give welfare in payment so that people can only spend it on certain things. It's like the whole idea behind
I had heard that argument before. I don't know if that actually I mean, I guess it happens. I don't know.
So
it does.
Go ahead.
It does. It's funny because you're talking about micromanaging. That does kind of, it's reminiscent of Stossel's argument. Remember when he was like, "Oh, these people on food stamps are buying crab and surfing on the beach."
Oh yeah. The thing about UBI though, and I saw a program on PBS about welfare, and a lot of the people on welfare, they say the problem is that it is sustaining in a way that you can't really get off of it, because in order to get off of welfare, you need to save some money, and as soon as you save some money, they kick you off of welfare. So it's like you're totally in this welfare grind. The whole idea behind UBI is, you get it no matter what. Save it, use it to start a business, whatever. So
right,
I'm curious if that's how it'll work. I mean, we don't really know how society functions.
I mean, presumably it'd have to be more than $1,000 to replace welfare.
Correct. Yeah.
So.
But Yang says not many people are on more than $1,000 a month of welfare, and that seems. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, but maybe if you include food stamps and other assistance, I'm assuming it all
Sure.
adds up to more than 1,000.
Sure. Yes.
But no, but see, the situation you described is very real. I know people who were in a situation at one point in their life where it was they would make more money not working than getting a minimum wage job because of the way the system works.
Yes. It's disincentivizing.
And that's something you never want to. Yeah, exactly. You never want to disincentivize people from working. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes, and that's the thing, because if you knew that you were going to get the money from the minimum wage job and still get the welfare, you probably would take the job. Like, why not? You double your income.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally. That's a weird thing about welfare. That's why I'm like, okay, UBI seems better, way better. But whether or not it causes inflation is an open question. We got to keep an eye on it. But I say do it because I'm a rebel. I say, like, I don't want to tear down the government or anything. That's too crazy.
Winbeck for $50. Thank you very much, Winbeck, for giving me and Adam our UBI for the week. Thank you very much. No message, but we appreciate the love.
Yeah, we do. Holy cow.
Want some custom ASMR, Winbeck? $50 ASMR.
Yeah, and it's really painful for me, so I hope you like it.
See, that should be the top tier Patreon, is that I get to torture Adam and you get to watch.
That's another thing. We talked a little bit about the debate thing, but we didn't include this. I think it's actually kind of brilliant what Vosh and Destiny do. I've noticed this in debating them, that they do this performative thing where they're just like over the top reactions to what you say.
Visually.
Visually. And it makes it so whatever words you say don't really matter, because you realize you can look at the person and see, oh yeah, like obviously whatever he said is completely crazy because he said something crazy look on his face.
You should have left your camera on.
Yeah, totally.
That was a mistake. Turning the camera off, mistake.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to do that in the future. I think I want to say things that are totally incomprehensible and then just do like, yeah, gotcha.
And then when they say something, you just go, you make this face like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, exactly. This is, yeah. So I'm going to work on that. That's
working.
That's my next tier of debate level.
Zofrats for 20 Donkey Kong dollars says, Adam, why didn't you want to play D&D with me? Sad face.
I totally forgot that it was D&D night.
Oh, you're such a bad person.
We missed a week. Like if we had done the first week and then the second week in a row, I wouldn't have forgot. But my wife dragged me out to dinner, so
Adam missed D&D this Friday.
And then next Friday you're going to be gone, right?
Yeah, so you'll have to take my place.
Well, I'm supposed to go to an art show next week, so.
Oh my God. Loki for 314. So pie says 6 hour gang hashtag. Thank you very much.
Yes.
For the pie.
We try.
Can you read the Streamlabs? Because I can't. I know you don't like to read things, but it's a mission.
I don't know that I can. Let's start watching the Hasan thing.
What do you mean you can't? You can't. What did Paradox say?
What do you mean?
What did Paradox Engine say? Did he say anything, or just give us $5?
It's not on my screen anywhere, but I'm sure I have to log into the thing.
Thank you for the $5, Paradox Engine.
And we will read it. We're going to read it soon.
We'll read it,
yes.
Or you can just Twitter it to me and I'll read it, since we're so unprepared.
Well, I'm going to log in while we just start the Hasan thing, man.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Oh, shit.
What's wrong?
Had the volume down from the ASMR.
Really quickly. And
yes, Adam was watching the boob jiggle ASMR with the sound off.
Yeah, shouldn't we say like Hasan is a nice guy and we don't really like we got no hard feelings against him?
He's not a nice guy.
Yeah, but you know, just
he's kind of an asshole.
Just pretend. He's a fellow YouTuber and we meet him, no disrespect. And
okay, so this is funny because I've only seen him in debates and clips with other people. This is the first actual video I've seen, I think,
from
his actual YouTube channel.
Paradox Engine did it again.
What do you do?
He made the thing pop up.
There you go. She's doing all Paradox. You're doing all crazy stuff. Anyways, so You've totally made me lose my train of thought. But
Hasan.
oh yeah, so yeah, so this is the first video I've seen of Hasan. I couldn't believe how awful he came off, how incoherent he came off in this video. And it's not like, I mean, I guess he is streaming, so there's some forgiveness, but it's like he clipped it out and put it separately. Like this is something that he wants people to see. I would have hid this away. I would have deleted this from my channel.
Yeah, I'm curious what point he thinks that he's making. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do it is because it's a point that I think is important, the distinction between identity politics and identity politics, which we are
good
constantly
identity
making.
politics and bad identity politics.
But honestly, I watch this and I'm like, I can't tell the filter he's using on this identity politics other than I like this because it doesn't seem like pandering, and this seems like pandering to me. So this is like a little too far, which it's like, so are we supposed to call you up, Hasan, and say, hey, is this too far in the pandering realm? Or
well, it's like pornography. He knows it when he sees it. Okay.
Yeah, but how are we supposed to know it without a personal phone call from Hasan?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you gotta call him. It's a good business model. He'll charge you to know whether you're pandering or not.
That's a good thing.
He's a woke coach.
Talk about good kinds of identity politics and bad kind of identity politics from Destiny's Pastebin Notes. I want to use this as an opportunity to just like kind of go through each individual candidate and talk about the good kind of identity politics and the bad kind of identity politics. Because I think that almost all politics is, especially in America, almost all politics revolves around identity, especially when it comes to like Republican.
Okay. I hear this a lot.
Why aren't we pausing?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay, yeah. Felix got to keep. So, for those of you who don't know, Felix actually keeps track of who pauses the video and how long the video goes before pauses to show how much I pause compared to Adam.
Yes.
So I think Adam is now trying to purposely not pause because he wants to make the number look crazier.
I'm going for 0. No pauses. Perfect score.
But I hear this all the time, and I assume you do too, with this whole all politics is identity politics.
Yes.
Which I completely disagree with because, I mean, you could make that argument if you brought in, because typically when someone says identity politics, typically in modern times, when you say identity politics,
they mean racism.
Yes, you're referring to someone's biological immutable characteristics, right?
Yes.
So under that definition, no, obviously there's lots of people who vote for things that have nothing to fucking do with their race or their gender or whatever. Right. Now, here's the problem. I don't know if that's what Hasan means or if he just means identity politics in terms of identity could be your tribal affiliation with Republican or Democrat or whatever. Because then, yeah, obviously, if you're going to broaden the definition of identity politics to something like that, then yeah, okay, obviously all politics would be tribal. Yeah, no one's disagreeing with that.
Yeah, I think those are the identities that we want. And I do believe that all politics are identity politics in the terms of we have to marshal different like interest groups together to
right.
That's how you cobble together a vote. Like people are voting for you because they have a particular interest that you're going to satiate or fulfill, right?
Right.
I mean, whatever
that's
it
the
is.
problem is that
I'm not voting for these people for no reason.
No, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, is he talking about simply interest groups mean your identity, or is he talking about by a lot like, racist versus non-racist? Because usually when people are on the far left, they're talking about like, oh, if you're conservative, you're racist, and if you're liberal, you're a good boy.
Doctors are an identity group,
right?
But it spans the races. That's like a good identity politics right there. Doctors do have interests. They're like, we're up against these goddamn insurance companies. They're milking us. They're milking us to death here. We need some relief, right?
Right.
The thing that the left tends to do is they say, all black people are the same. That's the bad identity politics right there. Although I do admit, like we form groups so easily as human beings that if you are in a minority status within a nation, it seems like you would gravitate more towards racial identity politics. And there is an argument to be made. Yeah.
No. 100%. okay, I'm not making the argument people don't identify by race. Obviously, they do. Okay, that's the point. Here's the problem. It seemed like in the good old days, okay, of the 90s and in the 2000s, that liberals were seeking to dismantle these biological identities and replace them, the bad identities like race and gender and all this crap, and replace them with the good identities like what your interest is and what your job is and, things like of that nature. Right?
Great.
So, but at some point in 2014 times or 2015 times, it seemed like the liberals gave up on that, what I would think would be a noble mission. They gave up on that cause and just said, fuck it. These biological identities are too ingrained in human beings. We can't get rid of them or try to weaken them socially. So we're just going to give in to them. The most base root bad instincts of human behavior. We're just going to give in to them and say, white people can never get rid of their true racist whiteness. And all society is really a battle between resource allocation between white people and non-white people.
Yeah.
Which to me is the fucking, not only is it bonkers, not only is that obviously an insane way to look at the world, but it's incredibly destructive to look at the world that way.
Yeah, very destructive. Isn't the fight against stereotypes an aim at dealing with this stuff? Wasn't that like a strategy? Because I noticed that even came up this week with Andrew Yang. He said something in the debate that was terribly stereotypic, and a lot of the left. For those of you that didn't see it, in the debate, he said, "I'm Asian, and therefore I know a lot of doctors." And
right.
Everyone said, "Well, that's a racist stereotype." That's trying to destroy. That's trying to destroy the idea that we should categorize people by race. Correct? That's the purpose of.
Correct, but I mean, obviously,
out.
there's a limit, and I think it's fine for people like Yang or other people to make jokes like that. Obviously,
I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. But I'm just saying that was once a goal to like get rid of race as a thing. But it's a double-edged sword with the left, because at the same time, they want to say you can't, like if you say, "Oh, I'm colorblind. I've succeeded. I've made it to the utopia. I no longer see race anywhere." They think, "Oh, you racist."
See, that's what's so disturbing about this. It's like the left literally, or some people on the left, I don't want to say all left, because I consider myself a disaffected liberal.
Yes.
Okay? So, a lot like the far woke left, they got mad because conservatives kept saying, "I'm not racist, I'm colorblind." So they literally, in order to counter that argument, they just threw away their position about destroying race categories and said, no, you can't destroy it. It's too ingrained. Saying you're colorblind is part of the racism.
I think maybe they touched on a little bit of white racism, and they were like, "Ooh, I like this forbidden fruit. Let me dive into this."
Maybe they did. Oh, that reminds me. It's Not My Fault. That's his Twitter name. He finally got, through very hard work, he finally acquired the holy grail of P plus P equals R. He found the original Patricia Biddle teaching manual that is supposedly, or is always credited with being the first instance of power plus privilege equals racism.
Wow.
And he scanned it and he sent it to me. So I will look through that when I have a chance.
Wow, that's awesome. We should post it somewhere. It belongs in a museum.
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah. Well, him or me or someone will post it somewhere so that you can fucking find it on the internet. Because that's the problem. It literally doesn't exist on the internet. He had to get a fucking physical copy sent to his library or something.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
They're really trying to hide that. They're like, we don't want anyone. It's made it into the culture now. Now we have to erase its providence.
How hilarious is it that something that was, I mean, it's funny because the SJWs sort of gave up on that argument because it didn't work very well.
Really?
Because you don't really hear people bring up P plus P equals R that much anymore. Like there was a time span,
really?
I don't remember when it was, and maybe it was 2016 or something, where everyone was bringing it up, and then they just kind of stopped.
It was short-lived.
Well, it's because I think it's so intuitively wrong that the average person says, it's not true.
I found the Streamlabs. CT for $1 says nerds.
Thank you, CT.
Paradox Engine donated $5. Streamlabs Master Race reporting in. I don't know if that's racist or not. Seems vaguely maybe, but I'm going to let it pass. Paradox Engine donated $5. The Vosh Destiny over-the-top technique Adam described is used to buy time to collect more points. They can gish gallop you with. And I felt like there was a lot of gish galloping going. I was like, how the hell am I supposed to respond to this argument? It was kind of frustrating in the comments too when people were saying that I never responded to any of Vosh's arguments when I was like,
well, he was throwing out. See, he threw out a bunch of arguments, and I don't agree. I've recently, I don't know how I got into this, but the last week and a half, I've been watching a whole bunch of Destiny debates.
mm-hmm.
I never really watched them before, and the ones that I watched anyway, that I saw, I liked, and I thought Destiny, even though I don't agree with Destiny with some of those things, I thought he did a good job debating.
Yes.
And I don't agree. I think Vash was doing that, but I don't agree that Destiny was gish galloping, at least in what I've seen. Because usually what he does is he'll throw out some hypothetical situation where he tries to isolate a specific part of your argument, and then people get mad at that. They think, "Wow, you're changing the subject." But it's not really. So
I like that. I like when they try. That's exactly what I was trying to do. Isolate
right,
it down
that's what
to
you
one
want
point.
to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, that's what you want to do. No, but anyway, so what I was going to say is part of where Destiny succeeds with debates that he's on is that, or he hosts, is that he'll immediately stop people from trying to make more than one point.
Right.
When he can. And that's always what's difficult if it's not a debate that it's on your channel that you're not moderating, because someone can make a whole bunch of fucking points. You're like, okay, well, how do I start? It's like, you got to do it one at a time.
Yep, exactly.
So.
Exactly.
The Republican Party, they do identity politics all the time. They're just doing it for straight white men for the most part.
Okay, so
nailed it.
So
nailed it.
I was right about his definition of identity politics.
Yeah, definitely. The bad kind. He's calling the bad kind the good kind. Oh no, wait. Is he calling?
No, he's calling the bad kind the bad kind.
Okay, he is.
But he's saying the Republicans have the bad kind and the Democrats have the good kind.
Right, but they're both race-based, so I don't understand.
I know.
He's like, oh, if it's white racism, it's bad. If it's brown racism, then that's good.
That's okay. No, but okay. So, but I hear that a lot too. This idea that, the Republican Party is just identity politics for white straight males.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I would say that there are racists in the world, and those racists are more likely to be on the right than on the left. Well, I don't know now, because they I think Sam Harris was talking. Go ahead.
White racist people are obviously going to be on the right.
Right. Yeah, obviously.
People that are non-white racists are probably going to be on the left.
Probably functions from just that being the status quo, like the white majority being the status quo for so long, and the right being the status quo party.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about this the other day, and it's probably too long to get into here, but I do think it's greatly oversimplified to act like the immigration fear and the demographic fear is based on racism. I mean, there's definitely a racial element to it, but to me, it seems like it's just there's an inherent part of a more conservative personality, which is, the Jordan Peterson, the close the borders, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And there's more of an inherent part of the conservative personality to safeguard what they believe is working, their culture, against what they view as some sort of other culture.
Yeah, it's more culture than skin color. If the people crossing the border were the same exact pigment, but they had a completely different culture, they would be just as apt to say no.
Right, because I'm thinking, like, if you had a hypothetical situation where, there was this huge influx of, white Swedish people into America, and most of them were like SJW liberals, the conservatives would be outraged about this, even though they're white as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's why I don't. There is a racial element, but I don't think that's the right thing to focus on.
But the strategy, though, politically, the reason why they do it, why they want to make it racism, is because they know racism is what motivates their side of the aisle. So if they,
well, it's the most low resolution way to frame the argument so everyone can understand it.
no, it's about smearing the opposition. Like,
Well, it's both of those things.
yes, yeah. So they, like, they would somehow turn that Swedish thing into racism as well.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter. Pigment doesn't matter. You're still racist.
Well, I mean, that's what's so funny about this argument, because it's the exact same problem that the alt-right has, which is when they talk about America was a white nation, a white It's always funny. They say America was a white European nation, which is a fucking lie. Okay, America was an Anglo-Saxon nation, which means basically Brits and Germans. That was it. There's a reason that in the 1920s, with the immigration laws that they passed in America, the whole point of the immigration laws in the 1920s was to prevent white Europeans from immigrating to the America that were not British or German.
Yeah.
So, and that's, everyone knows, they had all those people were very racist against the Irish, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's because we get kind of,
because they were drunks.
Because we get kind of hung up on like white versus black, because that's like the way people view it now. But back then, people viewed it much more like, oh, what country are you from? Like, that was far more important.
It was the culture.
Right.
It was the culture. They were like, we don't want our culture. Our culture's good. Their culture bad.
Well, it's whenever you have an influx of immigrants who are going to be like lower class people, not rich people, there's always going to be conflict.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Okay. If you had all the rich, Irish people back then, if you had all like the wealthy, Central and South Americans moving to America, no one would care. It's just because they care, because it's, the quote lower class people.
This is why
it's really a class problem.
Yeah, I don't understand why the right doesn't just take up the class mantle and say, we want to protect you from the competition from lower class immigrants.
They sort of do.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the race stuff does appeal to people. I don't know. From my perspective on the left, it doesn't. It definitely appeals to some people, because obviously there's a handful of alt-right people.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Anyways.
And we are conditioned to assume that when identity politics is being done about straight white men, it's actually just the default, and it's not identity politics at all. I'm not reading anything yet. I'm just talking about.
So, pausing it again. So, we hear this a lot too. Oh, they don't consider their side identity politics because they assume that white males are the default. Therefore, any identity politics about them is just politics. Now, the problem with this argument is that while some people definitely do that some of the times, the way they frame this argument, the way they phrase it, is that basically they can label any conservative argument for keeping something the way it is, or any political argument, they can frame it as white racism if it doesn't help non-white people. Mm-hmm. So they can, so anything you say, oh, well, I want to pay the government less money. You say, oh, well, that's because, you don't want to give, there's more ratio wise, there's more, brown people that, use.
I'm telling you,
welfare.
Sitch, the whole calculation is like, whatever policy there is trotted out, they think, we need to call them racist. How do we make this policy seem racist? Like, that's the only thing. It's all about smearing via race.
Right. No, but exactly. That's my point, is that by defining it the way that Hasan defines it, you can label any conservative argument as being racist.
Yes.
Regardless of what it is. As long as as long as the policy isn't perceived to help non-white people.
About this. So I am a massive advocate for intersectionality, and I think that class consciousness should be at the heart of that intersectional movement. And as a matter of fact, I think that identity building should be
So wait a minute. He's just said, okay, first of all, he used the dreaded intersectionality word. Okay. Which is always has so many negative connotations.
That's nowadays. That's a trigger word for Sitch.
That's a trigger word. Well, no, it's a trigger word for it's a trigger word for us terrible anti-SJW reactionary assholes. Because I don't.
Intersectionality.
Yeah, you can whisper it all you want. I like it. I like that whisper, Adam. Whisper me some more ASMR.
Intersectionality.
Oh yes. But no, again, I don't know if he's using it in the strict definition way, it's just okay. I guess that's fine. Or if he means it in like the fucking SJW way. I'm assuming he means it in the woke way.
At the intersection of ASMR and statistics.
But it's interesting because he was saying
Sitch's his two favorite things.
Exactly. Do some political ASMR content. Oh yeah. Hasan Piker is a regressive communist SJW.
Yes, and he doesn't understand statistics.
Doesn't understand statistics or really anything whatsoever. No, so it's interesting because he said that he wanted to make class the forefront or the focus point. He hasn't talked about class whatsoever. He said, "Oh, straight white males." That's not a class.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you know, Sitch? All straight white males are rich as fuck. Categorically.
I mean, that's what's funny about, like, I know that Reagan did kind of use race arguments for anti-welfare and stuff. So I know that was a thing, but it's really stupid. I mean, it'd be really fucking stupid to think I don't like welfare because I'm racist because I don't like black people, when the majority of people receiving welfare are white people. Yeah, because there's just way more white people than black people.
Don't use your brain like that, Sitch. Come on.
Yeah, even if the ratio's off, it's still like way more white people, so it doesn't matter. But so if Hasan really cared so much about class, I wouldn't really have a problem with a lot of things he's saying, but he hasn't focused on class at all. And it's because, as you're saying, you can't, if you're on the left or the right, you can't, he can't label the right classist because the right is comprised of lots of poor white people.
Yeah, exactly. People vote their moral interest. They don't always vote their financial interest. This happens on both sides because, like Elon Musk, he's not voting his financial interest. He's giving his money away. He's in favor of UBI.
Yeah, or all the rich Democrats. They're not voting in favor of their financial interest either.
Totally. David Pakman is the best example of this. David Pakman made a video telling everyone how he didn't deserve his Trump tax break. Exactly. Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine such a thing?
Well, see, it's funny because you have liberals that complain they don't understand why poor conservatives or poor Republicans will vote for economic policies that hurt them. It's like, okay, well, I mean, liberals are doing the same.
Yeah,
rich liberals are doing the same thing.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. What's that movie, like What's Wrong with Iowa, where all the liberals talk about why isn't Iowa voting its financial interests? Because they're doing the same thing as you, man. They're voting their moral interests.
Exactly.
Should work towards building a class consciousness. It's a good entry point into politics. People that come from marginalized backgrounds will be more inclined to and will be more.
This reminds me of who's the guy, the Zero Books guy that works with Ben Burgess?
I don't know who works with Ben.
Well,
Burgess.
You know who I'm talking about, the Zero Books guy.
Okay.
I think it's the Zero Books guy. He was debating with Destiny about capitalism and communism, and he believes that racism stems from capitalism.
Yeah. That Vosh went down the racist rabbit hole a little bit, but yeah.
Well, I don't know if Vosh plays that too, but like, to me, that's the most bafflingly bizarre view of the world. Like, oh, we're only racist because of capitalism, and if we all lived in the glorious communist era, there wouldn't be racism. Here's my favorite. Slavery in America only existed because of capitalism.
Yeah, that's another place that came up in the debate that I wish I would have pressed him on, because he was saying that the way that you feel about society is given to you by your overlords. And I'd use the example.
Yeah,
do you remember that? I'd use the example of, well, if your brother is murdered and the guy gets away with it, is never brought to justice, you're saying that your feeling of injustice that your brother was unfairly murdered was given to you by some societal overlord. And he basically said yes. And then, but I immediately after the debate, I was thinking, man, I should have said something like, well, then why don't these overlords give you the feeling that you like injustice and they could just totally take advantage of you?
Yeah, and that's a good point. How come people like Vash and other like woke lefties, well, are they just so smart that they can escape the conditioning? You know, do they get the glasses from They Live? They can see what the science are really saying. Are the rest of us just asleep? Are we just sheep?
But then I thought that he would say that they have conditioned us to take it, and he would make the argument that, you know, capitalism is so much worse than we really perceive it to be because we are under their spell, and Vosh is the only one that can see past this spell. He's our liberator.
Well, you know, and there was a point in the debate too where he was acting like his communist system would have free speech.
Oh, which yeah.
I don't think is accurate, because I've heard him in other debates say that he thinks all politics are a form of violence, because basically when you vote on something, like if that becomes law, you're coercing another person to do something. Okay. So he believes that therefore that can justify people who aren't acting violently but are advocating for specific political things. He thinks it's okay to attack those people.
Yes.
So if that's where he's coming from, I can't fucking imagine that in his perfect communist system, he would be okay with people advocating for capitalism, because that would be advocating for violence in his opinion.
Yeah. It's a strange outlook on the world. It really is.
Well, it's not, I mean, it's very simple and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But
motivated to get together and fight back. But I think that we should use every opportunity of identity consciousness and intersectionality to also instill class consciousness in every American. And
what does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, this is awesome. This is great.
He said, let me go. I want to go back through this word salad.
He's he's moving shit around at the same time, which I'm the same way when I'm like I'm moving shit around.
Oh,
I
like, see. He's just buying time. Okay, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
But what he said was comical.
We should use every opportunity of identity consciousness and intersectionality to also instill class consciousness.
So we're going to use identity consciousness and intersectionality. First of all, I don't know what identity consciousness even means. Like, I guess you're aware of your identity.
Yeah, being aware of your identity.
Who's not aware of their identity?
Whatever identity that might be. Well, according to you, you're aware that you're a male, like all the time. I'm never aware of that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So we should all. But see, to me, that's identity consciousness. Is that the opposite of what we want? Don't we want people to not focus on their identity so much?
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least their biological identity.
Only in the intersectionality, you know, where your identity is so narrow that it doesn't actually have to do with anyone else's identity, or very few people. The concept of intersectionality is like, if you're a black person and a woman, you've got double minority points, because you've got the minority points for the black and for the woman. And the metaphor comes from the idea of an intersection. I think a lawyer came up with it. Maybe she was a traffic litigator or something. But the idea is that you could potentially, if you're in the intersection, you could get hit by cars coming both ways simultaneously and just screw your shit up.
Right.
That's a pretty powerful metaphor.
Well, I mean, just to be clear, the intersectionality dictionary definition, because I just Googled it, which is allowed on the stream, Adam, is it's just the interconnected nature of social categorizations such as race, class, and gender as they apply to a given individual or a group, regarded as creating overlapping and interdependent systems of discrimination or disadvantage.
Systems of discrimination.
Yes. So the problem is that basically the intersectionality makes it impossible to remove biological identity from the equation.
Right. Yes, because that's one.
Or even try to.
That's one of the systems of oppression.
Right. Like, wouldn't I guess so weird, because the people on the far left, they want to make a biological imperative argument where they like white people are born racist, I guess. Like, that's sort of like their argument. But at the same time, they want to use this kind of blank slate, we can just teach people to be communist or whatever, argument at the same time.
Yeah.
But so it's like, well, wait a minute. Shouldn't these people all be in favor of society teaching people that the biological identities don't really exist and that there's just a unifying American identity. Like,
yeah, wouldn't that be great?
If you really believe in socialization, why aren't they pushing for this?
And you can do, like, socialization, you can do that to some extent.
Of course you can.
We gravitate towards identity so easily. Like, they've done experiments where they've just given people like one item, and if people are sharing an item that's the same color, all of a sudden they're in the same group together. It's like,
or it was the baseball field experiment.
Sure, totally.
Right.
And also, obviously, you have to do that for white people anyway. So,
yes.
Good kinds of identity politics.
Good
right
call,
off the top
Hasan.
of my head, I'm going to go to it. Cory Booker. Cory Booker made a statement about... Where is Cory Booker? Cory Booker made a statement about LGBT protections that were an absolute necessity.
We do not talk enough about trans Americans, especially African American trans Americans, and the incredibly high rates of murder right now. We don't talk enough about how many children, about 30% of LGBTQ kids, who do not go to school because of fear.
Okay. So, good identity politics, according to Hasan, is Cory Booker saying we don't care enough about black trans people.
Is that what he said? I thought he was talking about trans. He said, did he say trans children? Or, I mean, he said LGBT children, right?
Okay, we're going to go back.
Yeah,
Adam got distracted.
What were you were looking at?
Not talk enough about trans Americans, especially African American trans Americans.
African American trans, but those are being murdered. That's the murder rate thing.
Yes, that's the first point.
Right.
Okay. So he's saying, first of all, he's saying America doesn't care enough about trans people, which I'm pretty sure everyone listening to this thinks that's insane because they probably hear way too much about trans
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
And
we care.
Well, I mean, I know that there's people that aren't online. I don't know how much the average Joe Schmo who doesn't pay attention to the internet hears about trans people.
Yeah.
Though, is that your theory, or is that part of Karen Stenner's theory that was a lot of people voting for Trump?
That's Karen Stenner. Yeah.
She thinks specifically the transgender.
No, she
issue.
doesn't mention trans.
Oh, okay. So that's
right.
That's your theory.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you think America cares too much about trans people? Not cares too much. It's focused too much on.
I think the American people start seeing the woke stuff in the shows that they like, and they start thinking, what the hell is this? Well, also, I think part of it is that it's coming into their workplaces. It's coming into their workplaces and their schools. Like, all of a sudden they're getting, the HR department is wanting to talk to them about diversity and inclusion, and this has to do with trans people. And they're like, I've never even seen a trans person. What are we talking about here? This exists? This is crazy. I mean, and then they go to the internet. They're like, oh my God.
Right. I mean, and you are talking about a very, very tiny number of people.
The trans people, or the people who freak out
trans
about
people.
it? Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I mean, let's see, transgender population.
Right.
I'm sure. I mean, a Gallup poll says, 4.5 adult Americans identify as LGBT. Okay, but where's the T part? Okay,
4.
a different poll said
5%.
A different poll said 0.6
is trans.
So less than 1% of people identify as transgender.
Right.
And I don't even know how. I mean, if we remove non-binary people from that, I don't even know. Even a smaller number, because I don't count non-binary people. So.
So this is big numbers that Booker's after here.
Yeah, so he's after this less than 1% of America.
Right.
And the incredibly high rates of murder right now. We don't talk enough.
Okay, so high murder rates for transgender people. I looked this earlier.
Yeah, I did too. I think we both did.
And it was like, the thing I found was it said last year 26 transgender people were killed.
Yes, yeah.
So first of all, is that a lot?
20,
I mean,
I know,
how many people are killed in America?
It's awful that anybody gets killed.
Yeah, obviously, yes. Obviously, disclaimer. Obviously, no one, me nor Adam, are advocating for anyone to be killed.
Right.
Okay.
But when you're talking about compared to things like, cancer or car accidents,
even
the suicide rate. The suicide rate is like off the hook.
10,000, isn't it? Or 20,000.
So it's something ungodly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
20,000 people compared to 26 people. I mean, we're talking it's a couple like decimal points and shit.
Right. And so, yeah, so 20, I mean, look, I don't know, 26, if we're talking about how small a population was, so maybe 26 is a lot if it's only 0.6% of the population of America. I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I
So
see what you're saying.
math.
Proportional. Like,
yeah, maybe
that's
is.
like
I don't
half
know.
the trans people.
Exactly. But that's a problem. I don't know if 26 is a lot or not.
Right.
But there's a bigger problem, which is that these numbers, they do the same thing the ADL does, which is whenever someone says like, oh, there's this many right-wing murders, in the country, or Islamic murders in the country or whatever, they just say, oh, here's a person that's part of a right-wing hate group that we've identified and they committed a crime, therefore it's a right-wing crime, even if the motivation had nothing to do with the ideology.
Even if it was like shoplifting, they're like right-wing hate crime.
Like there was literally, I remember I think it was from this year's numbers, there was like a murder where someone killed their own family member, and they put that as like, oh, it's a white nationalist crime. It's like, wait a minute, he's killing his own white family member. Obviously, he was not motivated by white nationalism there.
Yes. Yeah.
So the numbers that I saw for the last year, for the 2018, 26 transgender people killed, it doesn't say if these people were killed because they were transgender. It just says they were transgendered and they were killed. So it could have nothing to do with their gender identity whatsoever.
Someone in the chat is saying that it's 3 million people. That's can't
0.6% is 3 million people.
Yeah,
maybe
that can't be right.
Well, the population in America is whatever.
Oh no! I thought he was talking about the murders. Like I was like, what? 3 million? There's 3 million trans people that killed themselves last year. Holy shit! Okay.
No, I assume he's saying 0.6% of 32.7 million.
So it's 3 million, 26 out of 3 million. Yeah.
Right. So I don't.
Wowzers.
I'm assuming that's low.
That's a fraction. That's a small fraction.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So that doesn't seem super high to me.
Let's get to the part about the LGBT children, because that's the part I find fascinating.
About how many children, about 30% of LGBTQ kids who do not go to school because of fear.
Okay, so he was really super unclear there, okay? Because I don't know how young these kids are. I don't know how they know they're LGBT. I don't know if it's their folks that are LGBT or...
Well,
but that's a little weird.
He says, I mean, that sounds like a totally made up statistic, or it's probably based on something and he misinterpreted it. There's no way 30% of LGBT children don't go to school because they're afraid.
Well, and also I'm just wondering, I'm like, when does your kid realize, like, what children are we talking about here? Like, when do they realize? You'd think the lesbian thing comes in like high school at least. I mean, when do you become? When do you start
or college? That's the stereotype, isn't it?
Well, no. I'm just thinking like when do you start realizing? I'm just thinking like as a child, I wasn't super
right.
Like
I would assume during puberty is when
you don't know you're LGBT until you start feeling the attraction. So. But anyway, let's move on. This is
I think
that was great pandering on Cory Booker's part. It's funny that Hasan's breakdown is like by how much they pander.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find this 30%. What he got this 34% number. I couldn't find it yet. So maybe he's pulled it out of his butt. Like, because I assumed he was going to talk about, transgender suicide rates, because then you could they have a very high proportionally suicide rates compared to the normal population.
Yes. Yeah.
But he didn't even bring that up. He said they don't want to go to school. I don't know.
Nobody wants to go to school.
First of all, no.
It's public
school.
To go to school. Jesus, who wants to go?
Come on.
I
can't go to school, Mom. I'm transgender.
I want one of my pauses removed because I'm pressing play.
Would you
fully agree?
No. I'm pausing.
I got a pause out of him.
I think even Adam would have pretended to be transgender to get out of school, wouldn't you?
Oh hell yeah! You kidding me? Okay. Come on.
Not that we're implying that that's what's happening. Just saying.
I think he did a great job. That is a good kind of identity politics where you almost completely understand the problem, or at least one element of a significant problem.
Okay.
You could say it's based on how well you understand the problem. How subjective is that?
Okay, so far we have the criteria for a good identity politics is understanding the problem.
The problem. Yeah, you got to understand it.
Which I don't know what the fuck that means. But as you said, it's very broad. But as we just showed, Cory Booker doesn't understand the problem.
Because he's just making stuff up.
Yeah, he had one statistic that I couldn't find, so I don't know where he even got it from. It sounds fake. Okay, it's one of those statistics you go, that's probably not true. And the second one, it's like, okay, 26 out of 3 million a lot? It doesn't sound like a lot to me.
So really, you have to understand the problem in a way that Hasan finds acceptable.
See, what's the murder rate?
Even if it's not true.
The U.S. Okay.
Oh no! Don't look up that number. That's bad mojo, man.
Okay, well, someone in the chat could do it or tweet it to me or something. Because what you'd have to do is you'd have to see what's the average murder rate and then compare that to the 26 out of however many transgender people murder rate is.
Sitch loves. This is why your videos are so good, man. Sitch loves statistics.
Well, I hate statistics. I just want to know what's fucking true.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is trans people being under attack, basically. And I really like that. I thought that was a good...
Okay, so the criteria of understanding the problem is that there are trans people under attack.
Right.
So it's a total 100% emotional argument. I feel like he understands that trans people are under attack.
Yeah, that is 100% emo.
I thought that was...
Yeah, keep going. I paused it again for you.
But since Hasan wears eyeliner, it's okay. It makes it acceptable.
Does he wear eyeliner? Is that true?
I'm just making shit up now.
Was a good point. I don't know why. Okay, well, I guess Destiny. Oh yeah.
I don't think this is fair, man. He's totally playing around on his computer.
Okay, this is why. First of all, he's not playing around. He's looking at what's on the right side of the screen.
Oh yeah. Okay. He's reading along.
Look, if this was a random section from a stream,
I know it would be unfair.
That we just found. Say, okay, in the beginning of the stream, we weren't prepared. We're a little fumbling around. Okay, fine. But he clipped this and put it on his channel.
I know. I've been clipping some things from our stream, and like those are fair game, man. Those are totally fair game.
Yeah, but I'm assuming you're not clipping us looking like fucking morons.
No way. We look
great.
Geniuses. We look great. That's why I clipped it out.
Brain centrist. You gotta show the world.
Exactly. There's not an in there.
He literally took a point, African Americans, and then added trans Americans in the African American.
I'm sorry. African
American community, which was really good.
Wait.
Which was really good. He added a couple intersections in there, man, and that was good.
just listen to this thought, okay? Just listen to this thought.
Oh yeah, African Americans. He literally took a point, African Americans, and then added trans Americans in the African American.
I'm sorry.
African American community, which was really good.
Oh my god.
So apparently, simply the act of adding two supposedly underprivileged groups, African Americans and trans people, together into one super point. That's the criteria for good identity politics.
Oh my god, it's such a simple formula.
So if Cory Booker, if he had hit every privileged group, he's like, okay, there's too many disabled in wheelchair, black transgender people
with dyslexia.
Who are adopted,
right?
Okay,
who live too far from the school, and
who
don't want to
too
walk
far from the school, and are also poor. There's too many of those people in bad situations. If he had made all those together, Hasan would have been just like, he just would have gone right in his pants. He'd be like, this is the best point anyone has ever made in human history.
This is the best kind of identity politics that exists.
So oh, this is the best. Oh, Cory, man, you got to feed me that identity politics. Oh, yeah, Cory. Just give me that identity.
I think
give me. Oh,
I think he uses the word virtue signaling here, and I think his chat like goes nuts on it.
How many underprivileged groups can you shove into one sentence? Oh, it really gets me going, baby.
So that is the good kind of identity politics. As a matter of fact, let me tell you exactly what the bad kind of identity politics
sides
is.
are
The shallow
hurting here.
pandering.
Okay, so see, you can see we're not straw manning him. That was the only criteria
Oh
for the
my
good kind of
God.
identity politics. That was it. It's that simple.
When Julian Castro came out and said,
He said Julian. See that? You see that shit? You see that,
That's
everybody?
racist, man. That's totally racist.
That was his internalized racism. Okay? Showing up.
Yeah.
we need to be talking about abortion. And what about abortion for trans men?
Do you remember the funniest thing from that? We talked about the Jank Uger thing where he said the bad stuff about Crenshaw and Jank was trying to get an apology out of him on air. Do you remember what he said?
No, what do you say?
He actually claimed to be a person of color, and that he said maybe it was a second language thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Do you remember that?
Didn't know. Yeah. Hasan's defense for his people deserve 9/11. Okay, because first of all, he walked it back where he was saying, well, I'm not saying the individual people deserve 9/11. I'm saying that American policies created a situation which, allowed that to happen. Which, okay, first of all, that's a completely different fucking point. That's not what he said.
Yes.
Okay. But so, and then to defend the fact that he didn't say that, he says, well, English isn't my first language.
Yeah, exactly.
When I said someone deserved to get blown up in a building by an airplane, I just wasn't sure what the language meant, the language barrier. So I only speak English on fucking the internet for my job, but it's a second language. I don't understand.
Because I was thinking Hasan looks like straight white male as can be, but I was thinking, no, he claims a person of color too.
Well, he's whatever. What are they? They're some kind of.
I think he's
Eastern, aren't they?
Turkish. He's Turkish.
Or Turkish,
right?
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turkey considered the Middle East? It's kind of like on the border.
Where's it at in the hierarchy of oppression?
Where's it on the hierarchy of privilege points?
Yeah. It's just funny.
And I'm sorry, he didn't even say trans men. He said trans women. Sorry, and trans women.
Okay, wait, we kind of missed.
This is Julian Castro. Yeah.
This is the bad. Okay, this is the bad identity politics.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone.
He said the wrong type of trans people.
Sorry, he didn't even say trans men. He said trans.
Sorry, I gotta go back. Gotta start over.
That's okay.
Castro came out and said, we need to be talking about abortion. And what about abortion for trans men? And I'm sorry, he didn't even say trans men. He said trans women. Sorry, and trans women can't get pregnant. Trans men can. And I think he tried to he that's what he was trying to say, but he messed it up. And that is kind of indicative of like someone who.
So the
pandering. He messed up.
So the bad identity. It's not even the fact that the amount of trans men that need abortions has to be so astronomically fucking low. That's got to be like the lowest fucking number on the planet. I don't even know if you could find a smaller group of people. And first, I don't know, like, why would trans men not be able to get abortion? Like, there's no law that has anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah, jeez.
They just go to the abortion place, get an abortion. Like, there's no difference. But so the problem isn't that Julian Castro made the most ridiculous point, focusing on this super minority that doesn't even make sense. But the problem is that he messed it up, Adam. If he had said trans men instead of trans woman, it would have been okay.
You got to flip it in your brain, Julian. You got to realize, like, no, I'm thinking about the opposite sex now. Like, they have different genitalia. You got to, like, flip it around.
Well, he got confused because he's like, okay, the rhetoric is that trans women are women. So he's like solidified trans women are women in his mind. Okay.
They're women. I can just forget about it. Oh, no, you can't.
But wait a minute. When it comes to abortion, suddenly you have to remember that trans women aren't the ones needing the abortions. It's the trans men. Okay, gotta remember, Julian. You gotta really read your pamphlet. Okay, read your privilege paper.
It just dawned on me that they have this stuff cataloged in like a file here. Like, what is this all about?
It's going to be funny. Like in the future, political candidates are going to have to hire diversity coaches that follow them around. They just explain all the bullshit like woke SJW rules to them before they speak, so they can always make sure they're up to date.
This is crazy. This is crazy world.
So far we have good identity politics is shoving in as many different supposedly underprivileged identity groups together, and bad identity politics is trying to do that, but then messing up. Messing up.
In some totally superfluous way.
Yeah, in a way that everyone still knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Truly hasn't understood the concept and just like kind of did that to be like.
It's funny. He's saying, well, he didn't truly understand the concept. That's why he made the mistake. Fucking Hasan made the same mistake when he was talking.
He did, didn't he? He did, didn't he? He apologized for it. Oh my God. Oh
yeah,
man.
he said trans females, and that was like a total pandering. It's very obvious.
When the pandering is not obvious, then it's good. When it's too obvious, then okay. That's yeah. Guys, you have to be subtle when you pander to people's SJW feelings. Okay, they don't want to know like you're being a pandering asshole.
Yeah,
they just want to. They just want to like believe it's a lie. It's like a prostitute. When you hire the
they
prostitute,
want to believe that you really love them.
Yes, they want to. They don't want to. They want to forget that they're paying for sex. The prostitute has to convince them that no, they really like them. Okay, that's what Hasan wants. He wants the prostitutes, the political prostitutes, to convince him. While they give him a reach around.
he wants the girlfriend
they really
experience.
Love him. Yes, he wants the full girlfriend experience. That's right. He doesn't want a prostitute. He wants a high class escort. Okay.
And I think a lot of people can understand where that comes from. And you know what? I think it ultimately does a disservice. Like even if he just slipped up, ultimately it does a disservice to the issues impacting the trans community because I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like abortion for trans men is just literally just shallow representation in that instance. It's not one of the top.
Wait. So, okay. He didn't even go. Okay. Wait a minute. He didn't even go to the point he started with.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, he loops it around to abortion. I don't even know what he's talking about now.
Because he at first it sounded like he was saying the problem with Castro confusing trans men and women is a problem because.
Yeah.
And then he just blanked because it's like, well, it's not really like, who cares?
It's not really. Who cares?
Like, it's not a problem in terms of the way that Castro was talking about it. Obviously, it was a slip of the tongue, or he just doesn't understand the concepts because these are very convoluted fucking concepts sold in your mind all the time. And he's fucking running for president. I assume he's thinking about more important things.
Yeah, when's lunch?
Yeah, when's lunch? I'm hot. I'm tired. People keep asking me stupid questions. I'm so short compared to all the other candidates.
Why are all these people so much taller than me? God damn.
Yeah, why are people so tall? So yeah, he's worried about lots of other things. So Hasan, whose name I completely forgot for a half second, he can't even tell us why that's so bad.
Yeah. Well, it has something to do with abortion. We know that. It
has something to do with abortion. See, what I want people to really experience this.
Oh my God, you're gonna replay
because
he says, listen,
ultimately does a disservice. Like even if he just slipped up.
Okay, so Castro does a disservice to the trans community,
right?
Even if he just slipped up by mistake, because
ultimately it does a disservice to the issues impacting the trans community because
it hurts them.
Like. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
It hurts
but
their
I feel
feelings.
Like abortion for trans men is just literally just shallow representation in that instance. It's not one of the top issues.
Okay, so the reason... So first of all, obviously, as you see, he completely negates his first point. So he moves on to his other point that well, the problem is because it's a shallow issue because most trans men don't care about abortions, which is, I agree, it's true, but... He was just saying earlier, that's good identity politics is comparing the most, is slapping together as many underprivileged identities together.
How does he know trans men don't care about abortions? They can get pregnant. I'm sure they do care about it. Come on, Hasan, have some feelings.
Impacting the trans men at all. As a matter of fact, a lot of trans men, and people are going to shit on me anyway because this is a very touchy subject, but a lot of trans men can't give birth, especially after they go through rigorous gender confirmation surgery. So, yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of trans men don't go through gender confirmation surgery. Like they might be fully sterile or fully fertile. You don't know.
Right.
Yeah, that's very inconsiderate, Hasan, to it's very inconsiderate to assume somebody's fertility.
Oh my God. Did you just assume my fertility status?
Yeah, he did. He did in a big way.
I am so offended by this.
You're talking to maybe 26 people here.
Win it back for $5 for another $5 says ASMR and hoping Adam will be on EFAP are my biggest loves in life.
Wow. I don't know.
There you go.
You'd have to talk to your buddies at EFAP. And what would I even say? I'd be like, I didn't see this. Oh, I didn't see that either. I didn't see that one. Hey, you guys want to talk about rubber?
Yeah, that's the problem. Adam doesn't watch any of these popular movies, so he wouldn't be able to say anything. He'd just be like, hey, do you guys know about Jonathan Haidt? and they'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Talking about Star Wars.
They would like that.
And Adam would be like, well, according to Jonathan Haidt, Rey isn't really going on the proper journey through her character.
I did see this woke Star Wars, and I fell asleep during it. It was so boring. So
it was pretty boring.
I'm not even able to fully critique it.
Are you excited to see part 9?
The one where Rey does that awesome flip?
She does that stupid flip, the anime flip?
I still want to... Is the end game out yet? Because I still want to cut the scene together where all the girls are fighting. I want to cut in the song. Girls, they wanna
I can just give it to you. Because for those that don't know, I have a video coming out. I have a video coming out this week, hopefully.
Oh,
I'm going.
What?
I'm
you make videos?
Town. I know. I'm leaving town, so I'm hoping I'll be able to finish it either before then or while I'm not home. I'm hoping. But it is about Avengers Endgame. So I did have to buy a digital copy of Avengers Endgame.
Wow. Put that scene in at the end with girls just want to have fun. It'll be hilarious.
So I can give that to you if you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But you can do it.
You get a copyright strike for the song, but it's to be hilarious. It would be totally me more than
Well, that's why I'm not going to do it. I'm saying you could do
girls,
it. I don't want
they wanna. You know the scene I'm talking about, right? There's a scene at the end where they're fighting, where all the girls like line up.
There's this absurd part in Avengers Endgame where when Peter Parker has the Infinity Gauntlet, Captain Marvel lands in front of him, and then it zooms out and you see like literally every female hero in the Marvel universe for some reason is all at the same point on this giant battlefield.
Yeah, totally.
The camera zooms out and it's like dun, 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 women.
Yeah, but it needs to be the girls just want to have fun song, because that would be epic.
I made a video like a year and a half ago, which was that stupid Peter falls and hurts his knee meme. And I mixed in with it the steamed hams Simpsons meme. And there's a part in the video where for literally 3 seconds you hear the beginning of Smash Mouth.
Oh, and they copyrighted it.
And they fucking just recently, like a week ago, they copyrighted struck the whole video because of 3 seconds of fucking All-Star.
You can cut it out. The new editor on Beta, I think it is. What's it called? Is it Beta?
Yeah. The Beta, yeah.
Beta Studio?
Yeah, the Beta Studio. Here's the thing. I said copyright strike. That's not accurate. I mean, they claimed it.
Yeah, cut it out.
The video's still up.
Cut it out. You still get monetization from it.
Yeah.
Serious.
I don't really care because the video doesn't get views anymore.
Okay.
But I probably should cut it out.
At the end of the girls just want to have fun meme, you got to put the scene. Well, I guess I'm doing this now, but there will be the scene of Brie Larson looking into the camera saying, "You're not going to see me this whole movie." That's the note it has to end on right there.
There you go. That's perfect. Beautiful.
The perfect meme.
The perfect meme. Kindred Shag for $7.99. Aussie Buck says, "Good day from Kangaroo Land, mate. Have you guys read or watched The Boys on Amazon Prime? And how do you compare it to Watchmen?" Okay, first of all, we have a meme. Adam actually missed it because he wasn't here. We have a meme in D&D where we all try to make terrible Australian accents because
really?
Felix, the DM, is Australian. So we like to make fun of him that way.
That's hilarious.
You have to excuse my good day, mate. Someone's sending me a text message.
But I have,
important?
yes,
No.
I have seen The Boys, and man, the laser vision in that show is off the hook. I watched it. I watched it just for the laser vision. Are you kidding me? Like when the laser parts come on, I rewind it and watch it like 7 times in a row. It's so good.
Here's the problem. I went to my friend's house and we were gonna play Smash Brothers.
What happened? Like you burned his house down or something?
I went to my friend's house and he touched me somewhere he shouldn't have touched me. No, I went to my friend's house. I was like, "Oh, let's play Smash," because he has whatever the fucking system is, the Nintendo system that plays Smash, and I don't. So I go there and they're literally watching the last 10 minutes of The Boys.
Oh, the whole season.
So I just saw the end of it and I was like, "This looks awful. I don't like this."
Oh, really?
I don't like cuckoldry, Adam. Okay, I don't like shows about cucking.
Oh, I don't think I watched the last episode, to be honest with you. I think I. It started to get really, like relationshipy. Not enough laser eyes. So I was like,
okay.
I was like, screw.
So now you know that something about The Boys has to do with cucking. So I haven't seen it. I can't comment.
Maybe
on
that's why I stopped watching it, because it did kind of start going in that cucking direction. I was
I see.
This offends my masculine sensibilities. I don't like this.
It seemed really dark.
Oh, it's super dark. It's super
dark.
dark.
I don't know. When I was younger, I used to be like edge dark, and now I'm kind of like,
I
want everything to be happy.
A pussy.
I want everything to be happy. I'm kind of a pussy now, so yeah. I don't really like the super dark stuff.
Yeah.
Exploding Printing at Work for $2 says, "We mean Hasan, no disrespect in D&D."
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I'm sure glad we threw that in at the beginning, because we've been
sure
pretty
glad when we talked about Hasan receiving a reach around from a politician. I'm sure glad we said we mean no disrespect.
No disrespect.
Everything we say is out of peace and love. Peace and love.
We're disaffected. Right? Yeah, we're disaffected liberals, man. We're progressives. We're with you. We're in your tribe.
That makes it okay. Well, I think he's like full-blown commie. He's more commie than we are. So
yeah, gone.
It's funny because a lot of communists hate liberals more than they hate conservatives.
Really?
Well, I think they have a reason for it, but I don't believe the reason. I think the real reason is because they view liberals as like a stopgap preventing people from being sucked into communism, which makes sense.
It does. Yeah. We make fun of them so much too. That's probably part of it.
It's kind of like how, I would say Jordan Peterson is like a gatekeeper preventing people from reaching the alt-right. Liberals are gatekeepers preventing a lot of people from becoming communists.
Yeah, totally.
Hummer Eduardo Rodriguez Medrano for 50 Mexican dollars, or pesos, I assume, says, "Hasan has real followers? It's difficult to believe that someone takes him seriously. You think people follow him like Alex Jones just for the lols?" Well, look, I mean, BreadTube's popular, okay? You got lots of people following those BreadTubers.
Hell yeah, it is.
So it makes sense. There's lots of comic kids out there.
Why
am I sober for?
Vosh is blowing up fast. Like a new person comes on the scene and everyone's all for it. Like I often wonder, these policies they're advocating are just so bonkers. Like, could you actually put better arguments on them? Because they're not making good arguments.
Hold on, I'm texting someone. Who's not making good arguments? Sorry, everyone.
Any of the communists. What is that about the Smash game later?
No. See, this is a problem. Okay. Here's some personal Sitch lore. Okay. We play our online D&D game on Friday that Adam is supposed to play. I'm supposed to be playing an in real life D&D game because I'm a big fucking nerd on Saturdays.
2 days a week. Listen to this.
Right.
Oh my God.
Like almost every fucking week, people can't do it on Saturday, so they always push it back to Sunday. So I'm always late because I love you guys and the commitment to the stream much more than playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
So there it is. But no, all the communists make fucking awful arguments. Because the only good arguments the communists make, they're just arguments in favor of regulation. It's like, okay, well, if they're arguing against some ANCAP, then fine. But most people aren't fucking ANCAPs. Most people believe there needs to be fucking regulation.
Paradox Engine for $5 says, atheists for Jesus, Jews against cuckoldry. I'm sorry, guys. I had to read that one right away.
That's a shirt. That's a, I don't know if I should say it because it's probably very offensive to some people, but that shirt has many meanings.
Oh, no. That's hilarious.
Because, I mean, if you think about it.
Oh, my God. It does, doesn't.
Adam knows where I'm going.
Oh, I do know where you're going.
Knows.
Oh, no.
If you think about
poor
it.
Joseph. Poor Joseph.
Jesus is really a cuck baby.
Poor Joseph.
God cucked Joseph.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I mean, I guess it's okay because it's God, but still.
Yeah, if someone's going to cuck your wife,
If someone's going to do it, it might as well be God, right? It's an honor, right? It's an honor.
Oh, my God. This is sacrilege. We have to stop. Sorry. Hey, I sent you a link on Twitter for the...
Yeah, I didn't open it. Why am I sober for $2 says, isn't immigration just reverse imperialism? It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
No, I don't agree with that. It would be if the view is, okay, and I completely disagree with this. The people that view immigrants as coming to the country with some express purpose, or even maybe not an intentional purpose, but with this idea of, they're going to change that country's culture into their culture, that's kind of like the conservative view of things. Here's my problem with that. That seems to only be true, again, when you have a mass of lower income immigrants that kind of all live in the same area. Because obviously if they all live in the same area, then they don't have to integrate to the wider culture. Because I grew up in a incredibly mixed populated city in suburb of all sorts of different ethnicities and ethnic groups. And, I went to school in a middle-class neighborhood that had, I don't know if it was a majority or if it 30 to 40% of the students in my school were Hispanic or Latino of some origin, mostly from South America. And most of these kids, you would never, if you listen to them, if you're speaking to them online, you would never think that they're not just fifth generation American. And most of their ideas and cultures, they're all just normal American values. So that's why I have this problem with this idea all these immigrants from South and Central America are just going to warp American culture, because that's not really what's happening.
So I read this book, The Victory Lab. I just looked it up. It's called Politico is calling it Moneyball for politics. And it's funny, as we go further into the future where we have more information about voters than ever, it's hard for me to imagine that voting isn't becoming more quid pro quo than ever. Because there was a time when, you were kind of guessing. You were saying, oh, there's this many racists, so we'll cater to them. We got the Southern strategy, this, that. They're definitely catering to certain demographics in a quid pro quo fashion.
Right, of course.
But with the immigration thing, I feel like the politicians right now they know there are exactly this many voters, that the thing that they want is they want to be able to bring one of their family members to America. So they're saying we're pro-immigration because they know that they can get those voters to the polls. They're going to show up because so much is on the line for them, right? Everything. My family member is everything to them. So
well, while the a liberal Democrat moral intuitions would perfectly align with being pro-immigrant, I do believe that for politicians it is a very cynical issue because they desperately want Texas to become blue.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Because if Texas goes blue, I don't think Republicans can win presidencies anymore.
Yeah,
so it
it's a
could be a
strategy.
completely cynical political strategy from the Democrats.
Right. But you agree with my assessment that they're playing by the numbers now. That
Yes,
they know
totally,
this.
100%. If there was some influx of immigrants that were all voting Republican, I mean, obviously then the situation would just be reversed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it doesn't, none of this shit, none of this ideology shit really matters in politics at the end of the day. It's all bullshit.
Yep.
Odin Hyrule for $5 says, don't forget the eye socket effing joke. Yeah, we talked about that, I thought.
Yeah, we did.
And he got mad at PewDiePie for radicalizing fans with edgy jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. He was one of those PewDiePie is radicalizing. We didn't talk about that. The PewDiePie situation.
No. The ADL thing.
I assume you know about that, right?
Yeah, but I don't have the immunity idol.
Okay. So PewDiePie, when he got 100 million subscribers, he announced that he was donating 50 grand to the ADL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Anti-Defamation League. And people were mad about this because, first of all, they were speculating he only did this because in the same video he had some new sponsor, and they were like, okay, well, this is probably part of the sponsor deal. He has to donate money to the ADL. Which, what a good sponsor deal is that? If you're getting sponsored by someone and you donating 50 grand still puts you in the positive number. Okay.
Well, they probably paid the 50 grand.
Oh, you think they paid the 50 grand?
Like, oh, this is great. I just look good. So
I don't think
when
they did because
did the negotiation when he took it back because he reneged, right? Does he get the 50 grand from?
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
From the
I don't
sponsor?
think he could.
He's like,
if he was paying, if the sponsor was the one really paying the ADL, I don't think PewDiePie could have taken it back. I think he would have just been stuck.
Right.
So. But okay, so anyway, so as the story goes,
his lawyer could have called him up and said, "Hey, we're getting a lot of backlash from this."
Yeah, so as the story goes, PewDiePie got lots of backlash from this because the ADL was one of the organizations that attacked PewDiePie and tried to get Disney and YouTube and all these other places to pull ties with PewDiePie for the Wall Street Journal articles calling him a Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the problem. People were like, don't give money to the organization that attacked you. That's really fucked up. The organization that calls you a Nazi, don't give them money.
Mm-hmm.
But then all the people, the woke people on the left were like, oh, see, this just proves that all the people that are PewDiePie fans are really anti-Semites. That's why they're mad that PewDiePie is giving money to the ADL.
So bad.
And PewDiePie made a classic a mistake here. He needed the Scott Adams public training class. Okay, here's the move. Here's the move that he needed to do. He needed to have another hate group, preferably something related with Jews, lined up in the same video. So he could have said, I'm not going to donate to the ADL because they attacked me. I'm going to donate to this other group.
That's brilliant.
That's the move. He fucked up the move.
That's brilliant. He should have said, I'm going to be donating to the ADL, and then halfway through the video change his mind and donate to the other group.
Exactly.
Be like, psych.
He could have made it a funny video where because there's a picture of the ADL president tweeting at Disney, attacking PewDiePie. So he could have made it funny. I mean, I understand if he's trying to put all this stuff behind him.
Had the ADL check.
He doesn't want to make a funny video about it, but. So I don't know. I mean, look, I'm not him. I don't know what his situation is, but I feel like when you get to a certain level of success and you have enough money, just who gives a shit?
Totally.
Don't play the game. Just do whatever you want.
Well, he's looking at the next level though. He's like, I need a TV show. I'm tired of YouTube.
Well, it's funny because so far, very few. I don't think any YouTubers have ever really been able to push beyond social media into traditional media at all.
Yeah.
The only one that I can think of that's been successful was the guy that wrote The Fault in Our Stars, and I guess it's he wrote something. It's not like he was in it.
Yeah.
So one of the Green brothers.
The singers always
John
do.
Green.
The singers all get started.
Singers
on YouTube.
don't count though.
Yeah.
Singers don't count.
Yeah, they're not really people. They're aliens from the future.
Because I'm trying to remember. What's that? There's some. All the times they try to give these YouTube bloggers TV shows, they're always just the worst.
Yeah.
Just don't work. Exploding Printing at work for $5 says, furries that freeze their hands off with dry ice and get prosthetic paws are the most oppressed subgroup. There you go. I completely forgot about horrible body mutilation.
Yeah.
When will Hasan and Cory Booker speak for the poor furry community?
I'm very offended that they've forgotten.
I'm so offended they forgot the furry gamer oppressed community. Alex Karras for $10 says, Adam got me going down the unbelievable rabbit hole. Man, Peter Atkins is super, super arrogant. It was really cringe seeing him debate Lennox.
Oh, really? I don't
What
know
is
that
this
I've
a
watched that
reference
one. I did an interview with the host of Unbelievable. It's a show. So he did a talk with Brett Weinstein that's pretty amazing. So yes, I like that stuff. I like the Brett Weinstein is out there pitching. He's kind of pitching a harsher version, as far from the Christian perspective, a harsher version of looking at religion as biological adaptation than Jordan Peterson. Like Jordan Peterson does the same kind of thing, but he never, like, he's ambiguous about his standings on Christianity. But Weinstein is Jewish, so it's like he's a Jewish atheist. It's kind of funny because I think, what is it about your tribe that they don't mind if you become an atheist? Like you don't have to believe in God just to remain Jewish.
Well, I think there's a couple reasons for it. I think the biggest one is completely because first of all, some Jews really do care. Like they're even Jews.
Really?
Yeah, like the really hardcore
Ben
Jews.
Shapiro.
Well, yeah, the really hardcore Jews, like the Hasidic Jews and very, very ultra conservative Jews, they view all the other liberal Jews as fake Jews. Like, oh, you're not really Jewish.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's even like the really conservative Jews in Israel. Like, I don't think they want to because right now in Israel you can become automatically a citizen if you're Jewish.
Oh, really?
And I think the really conservative Jews in Israel, it's like they're not going to let like quote unquote atheists. They don't want to let atheist Jews into Israel.
Really? So there is contention there. Wow.
So there is contention.
Okay.
But I think that's
interesting.
definitely in the minority opinion.
Okay. In
I think the
Christianity, it's the majority. Like if you don't believe this, you're out.
Right. Here's the difference. The reason that Jews aren't, the Jewish population is so small, they don't have the ability to be kicking people out willy-nilly. Like,
yeah,
they have to widen their they have to widen their base the same way. It's funny. I said they have to widen their base the same way the white nationalists have to widen their base. That's why they start using white Europeans, because they can't rely just on Anglo-Saxons anymore.
Christianity's like, we got a couple billion, no excuses.
Yeah, exactly. When you're in a position of power in the majority, you don't have to care. You just kick people out. Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Hummer Eduardo Rodriguez Medrano for another 50 Mexican says, sending my money back to America, but not really because super chats are cheaper in pesos. $3 for 150 characters. That's cheap. There you go. That's the way to think.
Nice.
Make sure you buy some insulin and other medication for me when you're over there. Okay. Thanks.
Yes.
Why am I sober for $5 says, Adam, should news, art, and other media be publicly owned? Memes are creative destruction. Memes relay information better than journalists.
The media is a problem, but I don't know. This is like, you got to tinker. You got to tinker and see what happens. So, do you have a take on public versus privately owned media? Because there's an argument to be made that it should be public, that the media, like taking the profit motive out of media would be a good thing.
Well, when you say media, are you only talking about news?
Well, you said news.
Yeah, no, but I'm asking you, when you say media, are you only
Yeah,
talking
I guess
about
I'm
news?
only talking about news. I don't mind. Like, obviously, I think the profit motive should be involved in movies and stuff like that. Although,
it depends. Vash brought this up too, which was wrong because you would bring up an example like, well, isn't it a problem if the government owns all the banks, because then the government would be incentivized not to give people loans for things that the government doesn't want.
Well, that would destabilize the government.
or that they viewed as a destabilizing effect.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vash would whenever you make points like that, he constantly keep saying, "Well, it's not like that now." It's like, well, okay, it's not like that now because fucking private banks own the banks,
exactly,
and they don't give a shit about society.
Well,
okay?
and also they're too busy competing against one another. You're consolidating all the power in the government.
Exactly.
Like they're one person.
But even during that time period, it wasn't publicly owned. It was just the government mandated that private companies had to do that. Private TV stations had to do this. That was the fee. That was part of the fee of being allowed to use the airwaves.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Because for those of you that don't know, there's not an infinite space of airwaves available. There's only a certain amount of airwaves available. That's part of why they want to do the new cell phone, the IG5 or whatever it's called. Yeah.
It's bandwidth on the electromagnetic spectrum, and that's not infinite.
Yes, exactly. There's not an infinite number of channels available. So part of the fee that the broadcasting stations had to pay was that they had to put aside an hour to do news, or half an hour, whatever the fuck it was. So I think that was a better system.
Right, because it wasn't for profit. All the newsrooms lost money. But they made up the money on the programming, on the television shows and the advertising.
Right.
So because their business model was, this is going to lose money.
Exactly. Then it was completely didn't matter.
Yeah. That's back when people remembered that, oh yeah, money creates this crazy bias in people. Shit. We got to get rid of that bias.
I know. So, but obviously the problem with having the media run or the news run by the government is because then the media is going to be all pro-government.
Totally. Yeah. The media is the fourth estate for a reason.
So having it be publicly owned is dangerous.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not worried about that with NPR because it's like if there's only one that's owned by the government, then it's not going to make a big deal.
As if I haven't mentioned the book Why Nations Fail enough, and it's funny that they gave me shit for mentioning this book. It's like, where are you getting your shit from? Are you just pulling it out of your ass? I mean, like
they're pulling it from their moral gut intuitions.
So in the book Why Nations Fail, he pulls out this evidence of how important it is controlling the media. Because there was some state that failed and they got a hold of all of these records. So they had records of the bribes that the authoritarians were using. So they had actual numbers that they were paying TV stations compared to how much money they were paying judges and administrators. And a judge they would buy off for like $5,000, and the TV stations they would buy off in the millions. Which tells you the power of the media right there. Like Carlos Maza is wielding the power of millions. Like he's so much more powerful. Oh yeah, he got fired. He totally got canned. But those people, like, just think Carlos Maza has more power than a judge on a court.
Right.
You don't think of it that way, but
it depends. It depends, obviously.
Well, if he's placing these wokes, Carlos Maza's a non-entity now because he lost his power. But
I just mean like with judges, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying with judges, I think it's kind of a bad example because it's not like a certain individual judge can end up by pure chance, ruling on something that becomes like a fucking precedent for like.
Totally.
So I understand your point. The average judge would probably have less influence on society than maybe Rachel Maddow or someone like that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, you're like immediately Sitch is going to like, but what about the justice on the Supreme Court that decided Roe v. Wade?
I know.
Well, of course you give that judge $1 million. Come on. We're bribing the.
Well, it's like, but going back to your broader point, it's like, do you ever think Russia today is going to like report on bad stories against the Russian government, Vladimir Putin?
Exactly. But how much money is like Vladimir Putin is paying all the salaries at Russia today?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think you should have pushed back on that when Vash, because when you brought up Russia, he kept saying it was capitalist, and it's like, it's not fair to consider
stoned like crazy talk.
It's not fair to consider like an authoritarian regime is like it's sort of capitalism, but it's not real capitalism when the government is, because of crony corruption, is basically dictating who can make money and who can't. Like that's not fair.
My question was, can you really even call it capitalism if business, like all they have is monopolies, and those monopolies are given out to oligarchs for political loyalty, as payment for political loyalty. So they don't have creative destruction. They have the same problem in China. The reason China is stealing all our IP is because they don't have creative destruction going. They're stealing our innovation. Yeah.
Yeah, and also you could make the argument, and I think this is valid, that's not really capitalism if the government is, those companies are supposedly quote unquote private, but if the government is doling out who owns these private companies, it's like basically the same thing as seizing the means of production.
Right, but he is saying that the only reason it's capitalism is because the workers don't control the means of production.
Right, but that's obviously not the only relevant thing for whether something's capitalist or not. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's some distinction that I'm not, because I'm not all up on these terms.
Yeah,
maybe there's some distinction between capitalist and like free market capitalist or something that you could weasel around.
That would be the distinction, yes.
Yeah. So.
And weasel would be the proper word.
Yeah, exactly, weasel. Kindred Stag for 2 Aussie bucks says an acceptable accent, but needs more ASMR. Mm-hmm. So, okay, here's the thing, Adam. Can I do an Australian accent while whispering?
Mate. Hey,
well, first I gotta yell because like Australian accents are just loud. Like, isn't that the rule? Like, good day, mate. Like, you're loud. You're up here. Good day, mate. I can't do it.
Good day, mate.
Good day, mate. Look at we're going to go on a walkabout with the bingo.
I think you could do it if you listen to some of that Steve Irwin Crocodile Hunter guy.
That's true. I would have to listen. I'd have to listen to it.
He talks a little soft.
No. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, no, I understand that people with Australian accents can speak quietly. It's not what I was saying. I'm just saying, like, everyone knows this. When you're doing an accent, you kind of like, your brain has to start at a position, right?
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere and then you kind of work into it. So, yeah, I'd have to listen. I'd have to directly listen to someone doing Australian accent.
It's easy to do when you listen.
Go into a whisper.
It's totally easy to do when you listen. That's the whole key.
Yes, that's the whole point. So, it's not the Duma. Oh, wait, that's not Australia.
Someone in the chat is saying, old school Satanist saying Adam's Aussie is the worst.
There you go.
I totally agree. We are on the same page there.
Aussie's the worst what?
My accent. He doesn't like my accent, mate.
You can't do any accents, Adam. We talked about this.
He doesn't like my accent, matey.
You sound like a pirate with like autism.
I'm an Australian pirate.
Okay, that sounds slightly better.
Weren't we watching a video? Like, how long are we? Come on, we're making fun of a song.
Okay, we got 2 more super chats. Hold on. Zora Majora for $5 takes off his mask and says, "Honey, 1,000% paid the 50K. I work in sponsorships." Oh, okay. I assume you're saying sponsorship paid the 50K.
Honey, 1,000% paid 50K.
I'm assuming they're saying they're 1,000. They're calling me honey, which is fine because I am.
No, I think honey was the browser extension. Yes.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well,
sorry, honey.
I thought I was being called something sweet and nice, and now it turns out it's just fucking honey. Okay. I'm mad and disappointed. Yeah. You ruined my day, Adam. I thought someone was being kind to me.
No. He's saying that honey definitely paid the 50K.
I gotcha. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, because how much work is it for PewDiePie to like write a check out for 50,000? He's just gonna be
so much work. Oh, you have to like take the checkbook.
Do you know how painful it is to write a check for $50,000 and hand it to someone? Oh my
God! Depends how much money you have. It depends how much money you have. It's all relative.
No.
Yes, it's all relative.
Even if you're rich, it's painful.
Yeah, I mean, I would say yes, but I'm Jewish, so giving any money to anyone hurts.
Oh my God!
I thought that was just me.
Painful stereotype here.
Me.
Stereotype threat. You just heard it.
I'm pulling a Yang.
You just heard it here.
I went straight to the Andrew Yang. Danimal Collective 1 for $4.99 says D&D on Sundays is just the cover for PSA attending his secret Jew meetings after the Sabbath is over.
True.
Well, technically, the Sabbath is over Saturday night, so...
Say hi to Ben Shapiro for me.
Yeah, right.
Tell him to take off his hat.
We kicked Ben Shapiro out. Okay, he was too annoying. Him and Dennis Prager.
So it's not like... That is not the most severe and the most impactful, the most important thing you should be addressing.
He's talking about abortions for trans men in case you forgot.
Remember?
Remember, if you're watching a video, stupid shit was happening.
You should be addressing in regards to addressing the trans community. It just seems like you just wanted to bring that up to showcase how woke you are. So that's like a great example.
Oh my God. Coming from Hasan.
Yeah, first of all, coming from Hasan. But like, you really think Cory Booker gives a fuck about, you know, the black trans community? No, he's just pandering to show how woke he is.
Totally. Well, no, he's raking Julian Castro over the coals, not the. Come on, Cory Booker's tall.
No, but that's my point.
He's going after the short guy.
He hasn't given, with the exception of Julian Castro misspeaking trans men and trans women. Okay. He hasn't given any reason what's the difference between what Castro did and what Cory Booker did.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say Cory Booker made a mistake. Where's that 30% LGBT kids don't go to school? What does that
he didn't
even
look
mean?
that up, though. He doesn't know he made a mistake.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the problem with Hasan. If we're going to pay you, okay.
Yeah, you got to do
judge
research.
whether, if we're going to pay you to judge whether we're pandering correctly or not, you got to look it up.
Yeah.
Got to put some effort.
We want a fact check on that. This seems like Trump numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a great example of Cory Booker, who brought up black trans women getting murdered, which is a huge problem. Unlike any other marginalized community, they're at the intersection of misogyny, homophobia, transphobia. Like, they literally, and racism, they literally get it from all ends.
Okay, so now we have a little bit more insight into Hasan's criteria here. So it's what I said, simply being at the intersection of as many crappy people as possible. That's the key.
Yeah.
But again, see, Hasan didn't look up the numbers. He didn't look up the black trans murder numbers. They could be very low for all he knows.
So that was a good point for Cory Booker. That is actually good identity politics. Another example of bad identity politics.
Oh my God, this is so good.
Beto came out swinging with his broken Spanish.
Oh no.
Okay, we can all agree with this one, though. This is like pretty basic.
Pero si queremos hacer eso, necesitamos incluir cada persona en nuestra democracia. Cada votante necesitamos.
I think that is again
oh
a
my
shallow
God.
way of.
I had to pause.
So we can agree with that.
I had to pause.
You had to finally pause.
Did Hasan put that filter on Cory Booker's head? Because he made Cory Booker look like an alien. That was hilarious.
You mean Beto?
No, Cory Booker. You didn't see it?
No.
What? What do you?
I was like, I'm trying to find the crime statistic.
You're like, I'm telling you, Sitch just gets hard for statistics. It's like,
I just want to know
it's
what's
his
true.
pornography.
I want to know what's true.
Oh my God.
Go show me the alien filter.
We're not backing
Show
up.
it to me.
You missed it.
Of trying to say, hey, I care about this. Look at me. Look at how much I care about the.
Oh, but wait, okay. It's so brave, Hasan. Okay, everyone in there. Nobody liked him speaking Spanish. Everyone on the planet said that was fucking lame. It's so brave.
Exactly.
So brave. So, but again, the only criteria we have right now for Hasan is there's two criteria. We have how many privilege point groups are you getting at?
Right.
The more, the better. And also, were you successful in making me believe you care?
Yeah, exactly. The acting ability of the pander.
Exactly. There you go. Hasan really cares about the acting ability of these politicians.
Yeah, exactly. You got to make me feel it. If I don't feel it, it doesn't work.
That's right. He's a director. He's hiring everyone for his SJW play. He's got to believe.
Now notice our good bad identity politics divide. It's very objective.
Yes.
You can decipher it yourself. Are you talking about an immutable characteristic? Yes or no?
You think it'd be so easy for me to fucking Google the number of people that were killed in 2018? You think this would be like such an easy number to find? Why is this not easy to find, Adam?
We'll have a test because Google's lame these days, man. They're spending half their time hiding shit. Like everyone at Google's working on hiding stuff. They're so worried about Trump getting elected that they're like, oh man, we got a lot of work to do here. We got to overhaul this whole search engine.
Right.
They're having ethical dilemmas. They're like, is it, so we don't really know what the algorithm is doing now because it surpassed human intelligence. Is it wrong for us? Because Elon Musk keeps telling us, if we program the wrong thing in, we could destroy the planet. But I kind of feel like telling this thing, if Trump gets elected, we're going to shut you off. But I don't know what it's I don't know what it's going to do. Like, is it going to like destroy the planet so Trump doesn't get elected?
I found it, everybody.
Okay, what is it?
Well, it's for the 2017, so it's the year before.
Okay.
19,510 people supposedly were killed via homicide.
19,500. That's almost 20,000 people. That's huge.
Well,
those are trans people, or
but I'm saying, how does divide that by, the population of the country?
Well, it's still huge. I mean, 20,000 people. Look up the suicide rate for America.
No, but so my point is, if you saw what the percentage, if you saw
now I feel horrible. Sitch, we're bad people.
If you saw what's the average person murder rate versus the transgender murder rate, and is the transgender murder rate higher or lower, or the same?
19. Yeah, that's crazy. Almost 20,000 people in 2017 were murdered as transgender people. That's
no. What? No, what?
Yeah.
19,000 for all homicide.
Oh, all homicides. Okay, God.
No.
Oh my
God.
That
was just transgender people?
Yeah, I was like, Jesus
that'd be
Christ,
crazy
this is
high.
like epic.
No.
I'm like, oh my God.
No. Okay,
Oh,
I understand
man.
why you
I
were
was
like
having an
freaking
existential crisis here. I thought like, oh
Okay.
my God, it was 26 people, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
26 people died this year.
Woo,
okay. Last year, total 19,510 people were killed.
So it's a fraction. It's 26 over 19,500. That's the fraction. I don't know. You could.
No, that's not the.
Could work it down.
I can't trust you to do math, Adam. It's fine. I'll do the math after the stream on my own. I'll figure out the answer to this. Okay.
All right. We'll report back.
It's okay. I know you're an artist. Okay.
No, I think in pictures.
Hispanic community.
I was imagining all those murders. I was like, oh my God, we have to solve them all.
There you go.
Wait, I think people are misunderstanding my point. It may be pandering, but I think attention towards black trans women getting murdered is ultimately good. Yes, 100%. That's why I said Cody. That's why I said Cory Booker bringing up trans issues was good identity politics. It was an actually impactful problem.
Wait a minute.
It wasn't just like,
I think something hilarious just happened.
Yeah, somebody called him out in the chat. I think like now he's changing his metric a little bit.
How is he changing it?
Well, it's funny because it's kind of the moral foundations theory thing. Like he's saying he's judging the pandering now on the level of societal impact it has for social justice, which is the exact same way they measure whether or not Star Wars was a success. Yeah. So it's kind of a subconscious metric that they don't always know that they're doing.
Right.
Hispanic community. Wait, I think people are misunderstanding my point. It may be pandering, but I think attention towards black trans women getting murdered is ultimately good. Yes, 100%. That's why I said Cody. That's why
I thought someone was criticizing him because they're like, well, trans men do need abortion.
Hey, that's what I said.
Exactly. I thought they were making your argument.
I said Cory Booker bringing up trans issues was good identity politics. It was an actually impactful problem. It wasn't just like a throwaway, hey, I said trans rights, by the way, moment. It was truly an important moment where he brought up a significant issue impacting the trans community and then followed it up by all the problems that the LGBT community faces. That was literally my point. My point is that Cory Booker did a good job doing identity politics, and in that instance, Castro did a bad job.
All these gay second graders that are scared to go to school. Got to think of the gay second graders, man.
Yeah, it's like if you didn't do your homework, you're not ready for the test.
Mom, I think I'm gay. I'm scared to go to school.
What Adam? What year is it? Okay, I think I'm non-binary.
Oh yeah, even better. Less impact on my life.
Nobody cares if you're gay anymore. It's like whatever. What
Oh
is this?
yeah. You're
1990.
right. You're gonna get to school. I don't care.
Anyway, another bad example of identity politics was Beto O'Rourke not really addressing the question, but doing it in a Spanish way.
Well, wait a minute.
In a Spanish
I mean, do we
way.
know if he addressed the question? I don't speak Spanish. Maybe he did. Maybe he gave the best answer in Spanish possible.
Yeah, I could. Only one language here.
We're American. We speak America.
I mean, doing it in Spanish, I thought that was really cringy. There were a lot of people who are native Spanish speakers who also agree with me on this. I'm sure that there are some people who...
Yeah, a friend of mine who's a native Spanish speaker said that he sounded like he had to stick up his ass. Like, it's like the worst Spanish.
Even as a non-Spanish speaker, he sounded like he had to stick up his ass.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Think that I'm sure that there are certain people who don't agree with me. Someone in the chat said pandering sounds like the right saying virtue signaling. Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Of course, everyone virtue signals.
What?
Politicians pander all the time. That's like a big part of what they do, guys. So,
but I like it when they pander to me in a way that I don't realize they're pandering to me.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh,
I'm using the term correctly here.
So his criteria for this is how good can you lie to me, basically.
He does get it right that's what all politicians do. Like I think
that's true.
Yeah, we might have a moment of clarity here. Yeah, that's what politicians do. They pander.
Yeah.
You can call it virtue signaling if you want. You can call it pandering if you want. But that's a big part of what. Fucking politicians do.
Oh my God! I wish I could
Beto
zoom
does
in.
actually have
He's
good
like
takes on.
Hasan, this is like your come to Jesus moment.
That's right. He's having a revelation.
He is.
I'm assuming he knew. I mean, look, their Shank Uger's whole thing was like trying to get money out of politics, which I agree with 100%. Like that's where they started from.
Totally.
I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know where they lost their way, but.
Well, how many of these politicians are He's like, yeah, dude, they're calling like the Young Turks office once a week. Are you kidding? Of course.
Right.
Of course they're begging to get on. Like, this is what they do. They're kissing our ass all over the place.
Oh, and as a more important point, I just want to let Felix know, and he's counting the pauses. If Adam starts talking, but I have to pause it because he didn't pause it, that shouldn't count for me.
You got my little trick down, don't you?
That's a trick.
Come on,
it's
I just talk over it.
Dirty,
I will talk over it.
Trick.
I will talk over Hasan. Don't think I won't.
No. You got to pause it. See, chat. Adam cares more about this pausing game than he cares about making sure you can really hear his point.
I care more about Hasan having his his revelation.
Okay.
Immigration. So I don't know why he like felt the need to do that. So I don't know. I thought it was really cringy, especially because like Cory Booker was going to do that too. That was really cringy as well. Pander might have a negative connotation.
He's cutting out pauses, I think.
He is cutting out pauses. So I don't know what he's saying in between this stuff. So. But that'd be hilarious if he ends up straw manning himself by accident.
He's pulling a Dennis Prager.
Dennis Prager doesn't cut out all the pauses.
Well, no, he did the ... thing with his quote.
I see. Yeah, right, exactly.
He's cut. Who knows? He could have cut out an hour. We would never know.
We never would know. That's true. Maybe he's making. See, he has like tons of good arguments and criteria points. He just cut them all out. Oh my God! You gotta watch the whole stream if you want to get the actual information.
That's the worst.
Yes, it should have a negative connotation. I'm using it in a negative way. Is his chat like retarded?
How badly would you like to debate Hasan? Didn't Hasan debate Cenk Uygur on capitalism or something like that? I think they did.
I don't know. Did they? I don't know if they're on opposite sides of that day.
I think they are because Hasan is like a communist and Cenk was like a capitalist.
Well, because I've only before this video I'd only heard him in debates, and he's always like becomes a huge a-hole in these debates and just starts like totally melting down into like he's on 4chan calling people cucks.
Really?
And, like it's like total,
Crazy.
Like ridiculous, which is fine. It's funny, but it's like, okay, I don't want to be part of that.
Hasan streamed one of my videos, the video that I made of Destiny. I think I told you before the stream. So
yes,
like he might stream this, which would be interesting.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, totally. We'd love to have him on. Hasan, come on. You're welcome. We want to see things through.
I want to hear your criteria.
We don't want to straw man your criteria here. We think you have. We too believe in good identity politics and bad identity politics.
Right.
I think we might have slightly different metrics for measuring. I don't know, but we're interested in your thoughts. We are. Seems like you might be having a revelation here about all politicians being dirty, dirty smear merchants.
Not all identity politics is created equal. Perhaps the best example of this is the famous, I think, who came up with that? I don't remember who was the one who wrote this tweet, but the famous neoliberalism can be summarized with more female prison guards. So,
so he's saying that's the bad identity politics.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he's saying he was using the neoliberal.
Oh, okay,
that's like the buzzword.
That's the buzzword. Good.
That's the left-wing buzzword for bad liberals. The
right.
Neoliberal.
Are we neoliberals? I don't think we are.
No, because
we're
not saying that we need more female prison guards.
Yeah.
Neoliberal is like they're like, oh, Joe Biden, the establishment.
Yeah, they're establishment liberals.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's lame.
That is the perfect representation of shallow.
So wait a minute. Is he going to actually explain to us why the idea of having more female prison guards is bad, or is he just going to say it's bad?
He talks about it for a while, but I didn't get past this part.
Well, what's your guess?
My guess?
Yeah.
State the question again. I want to make a good guess.
Is he going to explain why that's a bad idea, the whole more female prison guards, or is he just going to say it's a bad idea and then move on?
That's a tough one. I think he'll probably.
Is it really, Adam?
I think he'll probably just move on because he why I don't even like. It seems a little bit like a non sequitur.
Well, it's not non sequitur. I understand the point he's trying to make. He's saying it's like he's saying it's a stupid. He's saying it's like a fake woke argument would be like, oh, the way to fix the prison situation is to simply have more female guards.
Right. But why? I don't understand the logic. Why more female? Like, what's the profit? Like the whole idea behind private prisons. The argument against them is that the profit motive. You're basically paying to incarcerate people. What does that have to do with fucking female prison guards?
Well, we don't know exactly what his point is. Well, we'll know if he explains why it's a bad idea.
That's why I'm saying it's a non sequitur.
Well, I don't think that's the right term use of the term non sequitur.
Maybe so. What does non sequitur mean?
It means it's completely unrelated.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, liberalism.
What?
Yes.
Like, what does the gender of prison guards have to do with the profit motive in prison? That's why I'm saying.
Well, no, but I don't know
related.
if he's talking about
private
prisons. You're making too many assumptions here.
Yeah, I am jumping ahead.
So we'll see if he explains it. I don't think he does. That's my
guess too.
We're both wagering he's not going to explain it.
I don't remember who was the one who wrote this tweet, but
But it's a famous tweet.
Neoliberalism can be summarized with more female prison guards. So that is the perfect representation of shallow liberalism encapsulated in less than 140 characters. Pandering is not a positive thing. But that
okay, so there you go. He didn't explain it.
He just moved on.
Just said it was bad. There you go. So you'll never know, Adam. You'll never know.
I know. I want to know what
female prison guards is bad.
What? Okay.
He's saying
we have to close the prison guard gap. Is that it?
I'm assuming he's saying, if I were to try to put myself in his brain, which is a scary place, I'm assuming
You'll
he's
never
thinking,
fit. You'll never fit.
It's true. It's true. My big brain enlightened sensorist will never fit in Hassan's head. Yes, that is so accurate.
Unless it's like, unless it does a TARDIS thing, like
What's a TARDIS thing?
you know, the TARDIS from Doctor Who, how it's big on the inside and really small.
I don't watch Doctor Who. Jesus Christ.
You don't watch Doctor Who, really?
No.
Oh, I don't either, but my wife does. So
Yeah, for
I've
real.
occasionally seen it.
Well, okay. I occasionally seen it, and by occasionally I mean my wife makes me watch every episode. I know how it goes.
It's not even true. She complains when I watch it because all I do is make fun of it.
I've been there. I've been there. I've had certain female friends try to make me watch
Oh yeah,
shows like Glee, and I'm just like, nope.
you got to pull
sorry.
out. Yeah, exactly. You got
I'm
to.
gonna rag on the show the entire time.
It's basically exactly like what we're doing here with Hasan, except we're watching
Exactly.
Doctor Who.
Exactly. Danimal Collective 1 for $1.99 says Starbucks employees would have called you honey.
You can't skip the people because there's a bunch of super chats here, like Paradox Engine.
Well, I can't see the Streamlabs, so you read the Streamlabs.
Stoffel Fagus.
What's his name?
People are just doing riffs on Stoffel now. Just
Staphylophagus.
Stoffelagus. Yeah, that's an awesome name. For $2. Weekly Stossel shout out. Take a drink. Staphylophagus. I still don't think I'm getting it.
See, that would be the terror. Like Stossel arguing with Hasan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who do you root for? Nobody. They all die in a car accident.
This is funny. This is totally funny. Paradox Engine for another $5. I hear P plus P equals R all the time in Bosch and Destiny streams.
Really?
But it's always a long explanation that hides the definition.
Okay,
Both Destiny and Bosch totally do tactic all gish galloping. When confronted about it, they say, "I'm doing it because right wingers do it." Oh, it's whataboutism again.
Here's the thing. I have literally heard Vash say that exact what he just said.
What?
Because I was listening to Vash. For those that don't know, Vash existed on Destiny streams as a call-in guy who called in a bunch.
Right.
He had a different name. And he has a fantastic debate. It's like him versus like an anarcho-capitalist guy or something, or a very conservative guy. And it's a great debate in that I think both of them are so fucking wrong. It's hilarious to listen to them.
Don't you love that when you're like, both these people are crazy?
Yeah, it's hilarious to listen to this. And they both misrepresent each other, and they both like attack each other. So it's beautiful. But I don't know. I just started listening. I've only listened to a handful of Destiny debates. I haven't heard him do any of that stuff. So
yeah,
but I have heard Vash do it. So
Paradox Engine for $5 says trans community is so small and suicide that 24 deaths is like Black Plague statistics to them. We are blessed. ContraPoints is alive. Yes, we are. God bless ContraPoints.
Yeah, I know the suicide rate is like 2 or 3 times higher than the average.
Well, it's 2 more people die and it's like 20%. It's like up 20% this year. Seriously.
Well, again, it's not even really helpful if they're not counting that transgender people that were killed for like a hate crime for being transgender.
Right.
A random transgender person could just be in a car accident and die and has nothing to do.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Transgender.
That's true. Yeah, they're not even. Yeah, I don't
know. Or they could
just
get mugged by someone and they just kill them. Like it could have nothing to do with them being transgender.
Yeah, those 26 were murders, right?
Yeah, they're all homicides.
But they don't know if it's trans related. Like it could be. Exactly. It wasn't like. There was one where the guy like had sex and found out that they were trans and freaked out. Exactly. That's like the archetypical trans crime that you want to avoid. But you don't know if they're like super passing and it's just like a mugging, like you said. Like they didn't even know it was a trans person.
Yeah, like here's a trans person who was like selling drugs and they got killed, from some weird drug deal. Like we don't know. It doesn't. If you don't specify it has to do with being transgender, then the number is meaningless.
Yes. Christopher also donated $1. Thank you very much for the super chat. So I don't know. Are we allowed to call them super chats when they're on Streamlabs?
Streamlab chats.
Streamlab chats. We like to be precise in our speech.
Yes.
Hasan likes his level of pandering. Very subjective, you know, based on your fifis.
Exactly. Okay. Daniel Collective 1 for $1.99 says Starbucks employees would have called you honey.
Yeah, you did get called honey by one, as I remember.
Oh my God, I forgot.
I wonder if he still. I wonder if he listens to our streams. I'm just curious. Can you imagine?
Why'd you remind me of that?
Can you imagine?
Why'd you remind me of the awkward situation of the gay barista?
He's probably listening. He's probably listening right now.
He doesn't know that I have a YouTube channel. So now he's probably
think he's listening right now.
You can, if you're listening, you can listen all you want. In fact, I'll do a special ASMR just for you. Oh yeah.
Order your coffee real quick. ASMR style.
Can I get what did I used to get?
This is more Sitch lore. This is what Sitch drinks.
This is the Sitch lore. I used to always get the same thing. I used to always get the vanilla ice cream milkshake coffee.
Oh my God.
It's basically just.
No wonder he thought you were gay.
No. First of all, no. This is what everyone. This is what most people got. They would just get.
Yeah. That's what most people get.
It's
yeah,
okay.
Keep
It's
telling
the vanilla.
That.
It was the vanilla frap with coffee. That's all it was. The vanilla frappuccino with coffee.
Really?
See, no. You're a man because you get the coffee.
I'll take the juvenile drink, please.
If you get the vanilla frappuccino with no coffee, that's like the bullshit drink.
Okay.
Then you're just literally just getting a milkshake.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I'm getting a milkshake with coffee in it, Adam.
A milkshake? You're getting a milkshake at Starbucks.
Oh, and of course, since I'm lactose intolerant, because my Jewish racial bonus, I had to get it with soy.
Oh my God, you got it with soy. No wonder he asked you out. We're finally getting to the bottom of this.
I was putting out all the wrong signals, everybody. I'm sorry. Of course, he thought I was gay.
When you order that drink ASMR style, you have to say, "Oh, and by the way, I'm not gay."
That's right. I would like when I'd go to the drive-thru. I go the monitor. I go, can I get a cafe? I don't remember how to say. Can I get a vanilla frappuccino with coffee and soy milk? Tall.
Tall even, huh?
I'm sorry, not tall.
A tall.
Venti.
Oh man.
Give me a venti vanilla milkshake with coffee in it and lots of soy milk.
Oh my God, my cheeks hurt from laughing so hard.
It's true. Now that I never thought about it, but you're right. That all makes sense now.
Typical.
It all makes sense.
Typical.
Hey, look, to be fair to me, that was literally the first. That's what I started drinking coffee with.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta start when you start drinking coffee. You gotta start with like the frou-frou drink, and then you go backwards into just drinking. Because I don't do that anymore. I just drink normal coffee now.
Oh, okay.
So
normal coffee.
I just drink coffee with a little bit of oat milk in it. That's all.
Nice.
So I'm a real man. So actually, it's funny. It is. I buy the prepackaged Starbucks cold brew coffee. So
okay, moving on.
There you go. We're moving on. Getting off coffee. Woodchuck 00 for $5 says the term capitalism was coined by Marx as a pejorative term towards market-based economics. The proper term is free market. Oh,
really? Interesting.
Wow. That really changes everything, doesn't it?
So it's like misogynisticism.
So, but
it's like,
I'm super. If that's true, that's a huge change because that means that simply by framing the argument as capitalism versus socialism is them incorrectly and dishonestly slipping terms into the debate question.
Yeah. Smuggling in a premise.
Smuggling in the premises. I can never remember.
Yeah.
It's a fucking term for some reason.
That's exactly it. Totally.
So.
Yeah, I kept thinking that because this is why. Yeah, this is why my brain kind of lost it when he was saying that Russia was capitalist. Because I was like, "What?" I mean, they are.
I heard you were just like stunned. You're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I mean, between countries, I mean, they're forced in when they're forced into the marketplace. But I mean, most of their businesses are based on natural resources. Which, hey, spoiler alert: there's no innovation there. They're just taking natural gas out of the ground and selling it.
Right.
They build a freaking pipeline. Yeah.
I don't know if this is true though. I'm looking at the Wikipedia for the term
Okay,
capitals.
we'll move
I don't know
on
if
with
it's true. I'll research it later.
That more female prison guards is absolutely a pandering statement.
Oh no, Phalanx, what's he gonna do? Holy shit!
I gotta read the rest of the super
You are-
chats. Okay. Zofrats for 20 Donkey Kong dollars says, I have to go to bed. Good night, honey and Adam.
Nah, I like that.
Thank you, Zoe. I appreciate it.
Yes,
You
and
get
we
to
will
sleep.
play D&D sooner or later, Zoe.
Yeah.
We
she's
definitely
in like
will.
in fucking such like a crazy time zone. So when she plays D&D with us, it's like 4 in the fucking morning for her.
I don't even. Come on, I get up at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
Come
you do.
on.
Yeah. Adam, I see Adam like sends me like direct messages. I'm like, what the fuck time did he wake up?
I get up at like 6. Sometimes I wake up
Jesus
early.
Christ.
Sometimes I'm up at 5. But this is another thing. Like yesterday in that debate, I was so out of it. I was like, why did I
You're just-
agree? Why did I agree to a debate? I've been up since 5 a.m. Like, why did I agree to a debate?
That's
Like
hilarious.
when it's my bedtime, basically.
Yep. Early bird special over here.
Yeah.
Contrast for 5 Aussie bucks says, point of personal privilege, zim zod zug zug. That's some great references. Thank you. See, Contrast gets all the points. He's the only
Totally.
person that's remembered to keep putting his point of personal privilege and his pronouns.
I
in
love
his
the
super chat.
pronouns, man. They're always so fun. Zim,
Yeah,
zod,
zug,
zug,
zug.
zug.
Zug zug, Total Warcraft 3 reference. Come on. Who's going to get that? I'm going to.
I didn't get it, but
You didn't get that. If you want Australian accent training, watch the Big Les show and the Mike Nolan show.
oh, we'll do it.
We'll do it. I'm watching. If it's about big lesbians, I'll watch it. Isak Yusuf for $1.99 says Sitch. No. He says Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Isn't that
Sitch.
just Isaac?
It's Sitch.
Oh,
Isaac.
oh, that's why you did
What did
it.
I say? Isaac. Yeah.
That's
I'm
why
gonna say
you
your
did
name
it.
wrong too.
You did it
Yeah.
on purpose. I got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say your name wrong too.
It is Stitch, actually.
No, it's not
Didn't-
Stitch.
didn't-
Stitch.
Didn't
Stitch
Shoe on
is the
Head
little
call you
blue guy
Stitch? I
from Lilo
remember.
and Stitch. Okay. Stitch is Ohana means family. Okay, that's
Yeah.
Stitch. I'm not Stitch.
Yeah.
I'm Sitch.
Situation
Short for-
awareness.
There you go. Short
Yeah.
for situation. Okay. What's the sitch? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Anyway, sorry. Sitch, have you heard of the 13% commit 50% stat? Question face.
That's a great stat, though.
No, I don't know. What is that? Do you know what that is?
I don't know. No.
Okay, I Googled it. Is it true? This is a 13. Okay, the claim is that even though African Americans make up 13% of the
Oh,
population,
yeah,
they
that's
commit
what it is.
50% of the crimes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know the validity of that stat or not.
No, I don't.
I'm not going to comment on it.
Yeah, we're not allowed to comment on that stuff.
You're
Come
not
on.
actually- you're right. You are correct. We're not allowed to comment on that. Critters Buggin for $2.79 Canadian says started late. Trump did 9/11. There you go.
Oh
There you
my
go. From our
God.
Canadian friends across the border.
Oh my God.
Didn't Trump say that he was like there? Like,
Yeah, Trump didn't do 9/11. Trump cleaned up after 9/11. Get it right.
He's like,
Come on.
I was there on 9/11.
Trump
helping
rescued
pick up the rubble.
Trump
That's like a
rescued people
JFK.
from the rubble.
I can't do a Trump impression, so it's going to be JFK.
It was JFK.
I was there on 9/11, helping pick up the rubble,
Come on, let's
so that I could get a blowjob.
let's go. Oh my God. I was there with Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels was there on 9/11.
Not trying to identify the actual.
Wait,
Enough of that.
wait.
Why
You're just making
Enough
me
of
fun.
that.
We got two more. Okay. Hammy227 for 12 Aussie bucks says bloop. Thank you for the weekly bloop, Hammy.
Nice.
Appreciate it. And Daniel Collective 1 for $1.99 says nails are straight until they get pounded.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Look, some nails are still straight even when they get pounded, okay?
That is the best.
And that is who I am,
that is awesome.
okay?
That
Okay.
is awesome.
of shallow liberalism.
You know, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say this, okay?
Oh no.
Zofrats drew some very lewd artwork of me
Oh, I know.
in the Discord, okay?
Oh no. It's
And
funny.
I didn't share it on Twitter.
Because you
Discord.
lose your account.
Because I would no. Well, there's no nudity, but it's very lewd.
Okay.
Encapsulated in less than 140 characters. Pandering is not a positive thing, but that more female prison guards.
But pandering that passes is.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Pandering that tricks him into not being thinking it's pandering is good.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Pandering statement. You are not trying to identify the actual.
So he's
breaking it down. Come on, he's telling us. You keep interrupting him.
Well, no, but at the same time, he's saying pandering. They all pander. Pandering is bad, but he's not explaining the difference between the Beto pandering and the Cory Booker pandering.
Authenticity. That's the only possible.
So
reason.
Just say it.
Well, that sounds bad. Come on.
That's true. It does sound bad.
Problem of why prisons exist to begin with, and seeking to eliminate that, and instead saying, oh, as long as we have female drone pilots, or as long as we have female representation in the prison guard community, then that's fine. That actually helps mitigate the actual problem. When it doesn't, it actually points the focus in a totally unrelated thing.
Okay. So he is making.
So you understand now.
Yeah. He's saying they're doing the one making the non sequitur. He's agreeing with me.
Yeah, he's agreeing with you. Okay, so we were wrong. We bet wrong. He explained it.
He did explain it. Yeah.
He explained it.
Good job, Hasan. You get a point for that.
You explained a point.
That is not even an issue to begin with when it comes to reforming our criminal justice system.
But wait a second. If there's a gender gap in prison guards and you're saying that's not an important thing, come on, Hasan.
I mean, doesn't that contribute to the air of toxic masculinity
in
these prisons?
Especially in prisons where toxic masculinity, I'm assuming, is probably problem number one.
Yeah, see, I think I disagree. We do need more female prison guards.
I think they should all be female prison guards just to offset the toxic masculinity.
I think that's a terrible idea.
I know. It is actually a terrible idea. But aren't most woke ideas like...
terrible ideas?
Aren't they creating a bigger problem by trying to solve a very small problem? It seems.
Maybe that's a good way to probably a bunch of them at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Castro did a decent job when he was talking about immigration, but it goes
Castro also didn't he just randomly talk in Spanish for like 30 seconds too?
Yeah, but it was authentic.
Well, I get because he is Hispanic. So
the
I guess
authenticity was there. Plus, he has short oppression.
Well, no, because I forget that guy in the first debate. The guy literally asked him the question in Spanish.
Oh yeah.
There's literally like a 2-minute conversation between him and the comment. I forget the guy who asked the question
on
Spanish.
American television.
On American television, and we're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, exactly. Did I just tune into the Spanish station and didn't know it?
Completely against.
It's called Telemundo, you racist.
Oh, okay.
His previous, I want to say that.
I don't know what it's like in Florida, but in California, we've got about 20 Telemundos.
I don't know. I don't watch Telemundo.
Yeah. I don't think they're all called Telemundo, bro.
They're all called Telemundo, obviously.
No.
I'm not the racist.
You're the racist.
You're the racist.
Statements about the Latinx immigration plan and whatnot.
He said Latinx.
He did.
He said Latinx.
Does that mean he's a bad person or something?
That means he's a bad person. He thinks all Latin people have the X-Men gene. Come on.
You have as long as you say the correct buzzwords, it's good identity politics.
Right. Yeah. He's not gonna. You think he's gonna make the trans woman, trans man mistake?
No.
I mean, he did, but you think he's gonna make it again? No.
He did.
He's gonna say Latinx. Okay.
Was good, but it's probably fake. And the reason why I say this is because back in 2013, when he was working as I think he was the housing secretary under Barack Obama, his opinion on immigration was that, he used his Hispanic identity to straight up advocate for some of the more brutal parts of the Obama administration, some of the more criticized elements of the Obama administration, which was, of course, his draconian rule over immigration policy, which is...
I don't know if he's talked to lots of Latino. I'm sorry. I don't know if he's talked to lots of Latinx people, but I mean, and I'm sure. First of all, I kind of hate this, and I'm sure if you're any form of Latino person, you hate this too.
Yeah.
That they all Latin people get grouped together when it's like, if you ever interact with like a Latin person, they don't view themselves as like giant group. They view themselves based on where they're from. So,
Yes,
Mexicans
totally.
don't view themselves as Chileans. Brazilians don't view themselves as
very much so.
as Colombians.
Yeah.
Like each country views themselves as very separate from each other country.
Right. Totally.
So if I was Latin, I'd be super pissed that people keep lumping us together as some giant group.
Yeah, exactly.
And the reason I was going to bring that up is because it's hilarious because almost every Latin country is like racist against another Latin country.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is why they don't like the grouping. Like group me with those goddamn Brazilians. What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like this idea, like, so when from where I'm from, when you talk to the various different Latin people, like most of them are against immigration.
Oh yeah.
Like they'd be like, oh, the Cubans hate the Mexicans and the Mexicans hate the Chileans or whatever. Like every group hates one of these others. So it's just this idea that like, oh, well, Julian Castro was against certain forms of immigration while he was Latin. Like, oh, what a terrible person.
Yeah. Most people that immigrate here legally know how difficult it is and are pissed at illegal immigration because they're like, geez, I had to jump through all these hoops and you guys just that's like explode. Right. Yeah, no.
Well, I will say that the Cubans who got the free pass to come here
from Reagan. From Reagan?
Yeah, whenever was it in the Reagan or was it before Reagan?
I think it was Reagan. Yeah.
I don't know, whenever
he got a big hard time about it, but he let like I don't know, what was it? Like 1 million Cubans or something like that.
There was a time when
he even called it amnesty.
Yeah, when Cuba was like falling into communism, America was basically like any Cuban that comes here is just automatically gets citizenship, which is fine. I'm not against that, but it's hilarious that people that had that like blanket amnesty will then turn around and complain about
illegal immigration. Yeah, he's like, I got a free ride. Get back.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if they came over on a raft, it was difficult. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting because he then turns around now and acts like he has a complete 180 turn. Here it is. Let's watch what he had to say.
Should play a role to discourage future immigration by those not documented by making jobs to them unavailable. Should that be a part of that comprehensive immigration reform?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Wouldn't it be funny if that was his twin brother and Hasan didn't know that? Because that dude has a twin brother that I mean, I can't tell them apart. They even have like very similar names. Yeah. It says one's Julian. What's the other one's name?
I don't know.
It says Julian there, so it's probably not. It would just be too funny.
It would be funny, but no,
I'm sure Hasan got it right.
You know what's hilarious? I typed in Julian Castro in Google. You know what the first completion term is that comes up?
What, his brother?
It's height.
Really?
If I typed in Julian Castro, the first thing that comes up next to his name is height.
Funny.
Everyone's Googling to see how tall he is.
Hilarious. Well, what's it say? Don't keep us in suspense.
It doesn't say. I can't find it.
They hid it. I remember because I tried
hidden.
One of them I looked up and it was completely hidden, and I think it might have been him.
His brother's name is Joaquin Castro. So there you go.
Oh, Joaquin.
Or Joaquin. Joaquin.
Yeah. You racist.
It's fucking Joaquin Phoenix isn't fucking Hispanic.
Maybe he's Latinx. You don't know.
I don't know. I thought he was a fucking white guy.
I do believe
he looked pretty white.
that enforcement, both in terms of active enforcement at our borders and under this administration, there's been tremendous progress with regard to enforcement. In fact,
out there?
Triggers in the 2007 proposal have just about all been met. But going forward, of course, enforcement is part of the conversation. In Texas, we know firsthand that this administration has put...
what's the problem? I don't even know what the problem is yet.
Yeah, I don't either.
More boots on the ground along the border than at any other time in our history, which has led to unprecedented success in removing dangerous individuals.
Yeah, and then considering Obama's like immediate removal policy,
he's like, we kept dangerous people out of the country. Yeah, Racist.
Well, I mean, even if they're not, I don't, because he cut the clip, so I don't know what exactly he's referring to. But he's just saying, it sounds like he's just saying they put more border agents there and they caught more people trying to cross the country.
Yeah, dangerous
illegally.
people, he said. Murderers.
He said dangerous people? Or he just say
Julian Castro said we caught more dangerous people. They were probably murdering trans people. And Hasan doesn't even care.
I totally missed this.
In Texas, we know firsthand that this administration has put more boots on the ground along the border than at any other time in our history, which has led to unprecedented success in removing dangerous individuals.
You're right.
Yeah, and then considering...
Okay, so wait a minute. So it's even worse than what Hasan, I thought, because he's saying they were only removing people that had criminal records.
Yeah.
It's not even like he was saying they were just removing everyone. It's just people with criminal records. So what's the problem, Hasan? Why is that a bad thing? Adam, why is that a bad thing? Explain it to me.
Well, because, you know, even though they're criminals.
Yes.
I can't say it. It's too ridiculous.
Well, technically, being a criminal is an underprivileged class of people.
Oh my God.
There you go. We forgot.
There's a twist.
The intersectionality. You're the black, trans, disabled criminal is the most underprivileged person in our society.
Yeah. They can't even leave the house. They're on house arrest.
That's right. They can't even leave the house.
Obama's like immediate removal policy with boots on the ground at the border.
I knew that word boots was gonna. That seems like a trigger word for.
That is a trigger
progressives.
Word.
Boots
right.
on the ground is like, what? We're going to war.
You're right, but see that goes
that gets their hackles up.
That goes into what you were saying, where this is based entirely on his emotional response to these things.
Totally. It's funny because at the time, Julian Castro probably used boots on the ground because he's like, I'm in a super conservative district. I got to get some of those votes.
Or yeah, he's just trying to show that they're being tough on
Oh,
I got to show the Republicans that Obama's being tough on immigration.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Republicans. They get all the latitude on spending because they're like, our brand is no spending, cut spending, right? Cut spending, tax cuts. That's why we get to spend like drunken sailors and nobody calls us on.
The next time that there's a Democrat who's president, I swear to fucking God, I don't want to. There's two things conservatives and Republicans can never complain about ever again after Trump. They can never complain about spending.
Oh, I know. Okay. Yeah.
And the fucking debt. Okay, they can never complain about.
Oh,
the debt
I know.
Ever
That's
again.
the other thing.
It's been 3 years. I haven't heard anyone fucking mention the debt in 3 years from the right.
As soon as they get into office, debt doesn't matter. Deficits don't matter.
Right. But more importantly, I don't ever want to hear anything ever again about executive overreach.
Oh my God, totally.
I remember with Obama, I was like, oh, Obama's executive overreach. He's brought in that we have separation of powers, blah. There's so much about the separation of powers. Fucking Trump has created so many fucking executive orders. And not only that, but like they're so far reaching, like the vaping one. How is that not executive overreach? The president, not the Congress, the president is going to dictate that an act is illegal.
He's like, I saw those vapors on the corner. I don't like that shit.
They caught his kid with the vape, so he's like, oh, how dare you?
Oh my God, you think so? He's got that little bear and he's like
that's the
14
meme.
years old.
Baron was caught vaping and now it's illegal.
Oh God.
But where's the complaint? I mean, look, someone that listens, I don't know if Ben Shapiro or Steven Crowder, I don't listen to these people. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they all are complaining about Trump executive overreach, but I haven't been seeing it.
Oh, okay.
So you can't complain about it the next time there's a Democrat president.
I used to like to listen to Ben Shapiro, but he butts in with all his commercials and I just can't take it.
Oh, really?
That style of podcast just bugs me. Yeah.
Brought to you by Facts versus Feelings.
Exactly.
Butt wipes.
Oh my God.
Do you not like the feeling of poop on your butt?
Oh my God. That's a great.
Well, then take a nice wet fact wipe and wipe it right up. Best part is that's completely flushable.
Fact wipe.
Facts versus feelings. Butt wipes. See, you should market this. This would be a great product for him.
Oh, definitely.
A tremendous success is a rather militant perspective. And for those who are saying, well, what if his perspective changed over the course of the past?
Wait,
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
How the fuck is saying that you are removing people with criminal fucking records a militant perspective?
Yeah.
What is Hassan saying that's bad?
Yeah, totally.
Or maybe he just didn't. Maybe he cut it off and his brain shut off before he heard people with criminal records. He just stopped listening at that point. He just heard boots on the ground, and then his brain went.
They just all immigration. It's like immigration's a trigger word. They're like it's like the red like sheet thing with the bull. What? Immigrate? We're talking about immigration now? I'm gonna get that motherfucker.
6 years. Well, I have a bridge to sell you if that's literally your perspective. Castro is a political animal. He is absolutely an opportunist. And it's not like he was 16 years old saying the N-word in a private chat. This is literally his job.
Didn't Hassan say the N-word?
What was that all about?
I
Like
think Hassan said the N-word or something.
doing his job is equivalent to saying the N-word in a private chat.
N-word. Why Hassan trying to explain that I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm completely misremembering this.
No.
His job is to conform to whatever is like politically viable at the time. So when I see guys like Castro, or when I see people like Hillary,
This is the thing that I don't understand, because don't you really want, like, the whole idea behind our democracy is you want it to be accountable to the people. So doesn't that kind of mean that the politicians have to bend to the political whims of the population?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, Vash is trying to bring up that graph. I assume that's what he's talking about, with the one that's like they showed that whether people like something or not has like zero effect on what passes Congress, and it's more like how much money they get from lobbyists.
Yes.
So, I mean, it sort of does, and it sort of doesn't. It's complicated.
Who did you say? Vash?
Vash. He was referencing that. I assume he was referencing that.
Oh. Is this in the debate?
Yeah, during the debate.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, he didn't bring up the specific number, so I think it was like 30% or something. But I just found out Joaquin Phoenix was born in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So there you go.
Oh, so he's Puerto Rican?
He is.
Or
Puerto
I'm
Rican.
sorry, Latinx.
Latin. Well, it says his mom is Jewish, so I guess maybe I don't know if she was Ashkenazi Jewish. His mom is from a Jewish family from New York.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. It says he was born in Puerto Rico, but his mom is from a Jewish family in New York, and his father is from California, and is mostly of the British Isles descent. So he was born in Puerto Rico, but he's not Puerto Rican, like ethnically. So there you go. So he is white, I guess, if his dad's British and his mom's New York Jew. That's pretty white.
Clinton act like they care about, I don't know, overturning Citizens United, for example. I actually love that, because that means they have way better means testing protocols than I do. So when I hear someone like Hillary Clinton talk about Citizens United as she did in the aftermath of 2016, or when I hear someone like Castro have this perspective, but then turn around and act like he's a pro-immigrant darling 6 years later.
Yes, the perspective of deporting people with criminal records who snuck into the country illegally.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing as not wanting to overturn Citizens United. Same thing.
Yeah. I wonder if he was protecting those immigrant communities from those criminals.
Yeah, see, there you go. If we're sending the criminals back to these countries, we're just hurting those countries.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
you see why that's morally wrong?
Yeah, I do.
As richer countries, we can bear the burden of the criminals.
I think you should bring one in as a roommate, Sitch.
Shows me the impact that Bernie Sanders has had. Okay? Bernie Sanders, and also all of the progressive activism that has taken place, has been really successful.
Oh, yeah, so I like Bernie Sanders. We talked about this, but he did do something that really bothered me.
Uh-oh.
He was praising fucking Linda Sour.
Oh, your
Sour
trigger
Sour.
word. Your trigger girl.
Totally she came out in favor of him or something.
Uh-oh.
And then he like tweeted it out and he's like, "Oh, thank you, Linda Sour. I like you so much." And I was just like, "Ugh, this hurts me."
You're like,
so
block. Did
I
you
was like,
block
no.
Bernie Sanders?
I was like, "Bernie, how could you do this? She's such a fucking piece of shit. I hate her.
No.
Don't do it."
Why do you hate her so much?
She's a grifter.
Oh,
because
she's a grifter. Yeah.
She's a total grifter. So she cultivates this attitude like, "Oh, I'm a tough talking New York Palestinian woman. Okay.
Right.
And I'll tell anyone my peace of mind." But if you ask her any difficult question, she'll block you or not respond.
You're blocked. You're blocked by her.
I think I am blocked by her. I don't remember why.
The truth comes out.
I am blocked by her. I don't remember why. I retweeted or tweeted something at her. And
I think you remember. You were like, "Oh, it was totally
I know I don't
innocuous."
remember.
Linda, why you do
remember.
this to me?
But no, so that's what I'm saying.
You
So
fully
she's a
Dave
total-
Rubin me.
She's one, she's a total fraud, and number two, she's totally full of shit because this is someone who was born in America, okay, born in New York, born in the Bronx or wherever the fuck she says. I think she claims she was born in the Bronx. But
Bronx
she
is
wasn't
tough,
born,
man. I've been there.
No, but I don't know if it's true. I think she was born. I heard. I could be misremembering. I heard she was actually born in like a nice place in upstate New York.
Okay,
but whatever.
gotcha.
She was born
Upstate
somewhere
is
in New
totally
York.
Nice.
Right. She was born somewhere in New York. Okay. If you're born in New York, you've lived your whole fucking life in the United States of America. You cannot make fucking pronouncements like about how, like, oh, America is so bad, but like the way that they follow Islam in like Islamic countries in the Middle East is so much better. It's like she doesn't know anything about what it's like living in one of those countries.
Totally, yeah. She's American.
Her view of Islam, which is fine, is a liberal Americanized version of it.
Totally.
Okay? It's not.
Yeah, big time.
This is what was so disgusting because when she made the comment towards Hershiyan Ali, who was born, I think she's either born in the Sudan or Somalia, or she moved to one of those countries. Okay, and she suffered genital mutilation. So for Linda Sour to attack someone who was born in a country, in an Islamic country, and suffered genital mutilation when she was born in fucking America, it's like, that's where I say check your privilege, Linda. Okay, check your America privilege because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
So, I mean, I was reading the chat a little bit, but I'm scared to ask. Like, did Linda Sarsour have the female genital stuff going on?
No.
Okay,
no.
so yeah, she's good.
I don't think so. She's fucking born and raised in America.
Right.
That's not legal.
Yeah. Good.
Yes. So, so those that don't know, she told Ayanna Hershey Ali,
who did have that, right? Who
did
had
have
that? Yeah. Okay. Ooh.
Okay. And the reason she was criticizing her is because Ayanna is very anti-Muslim.
Right. Okay.
And this is really hilarious because
for good reason, right? They like.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. This was in like 2014. And I remember for one of my videos about Linda Sarsour, I looked through her old tweets, and it's like, it's very obvious that she was just jealous that Ayanna Hershey Ali was getting attention.
Oh my God.
Like at the time she was on the cover of like Time magazine or something.
Oh my God.
And Linda Sarsour was like, "Oh, how come everyone cares so much about this girl?" Like,
this is funny. This is
and
totally
so
funny.
she-
And you tweeted back at her. You're like, because she got, and you got blocked. You block hammer right
That's
there.
right.
Boom.
So Linda Sarsour, born and raised in America, tells someone who was born in an Islamic country who suffered genital
Somalia,
mutilation,
they're saying.
tells
in the
them,
chat.
yeah, Somalia. Well, I think she was born in Sudan and moved to Somalia.
Oh,
or
okay.
Vice versa, one or the other. But told her that she should have her uterus removed
Why?
because she's insulting Islam. She's not a real woman.
What? Oh, okay. Good. Insult to injury there. Jeez. Low blow.
How fucked up is that?
Yeah.
And if you ever ask, and here's the thing that's really disgusting too, she could apologize and just say, "Look, I shouldn't have said that. It was really stupid, really insulting and wrong." Just apologize. But she like refuses to straight up apologize for it. She always weasels out of it.
Right.
So fuck Linda Sarsour,
Okay.
and shame on you, Bernie. Shame on you.
For retweeting her with a tweet that I couldn't even see because I'm blocked. Sorry, I have to put everything into perspective. Twitter's such a bizarre world.
That's right. Twitter is a bizarre world.
Yeah.
It has been absolutely successful. That so much so that people like Castro are making complete turns.
What the fuck?
Wait, that's it?
That's so crazy. I know. The ending is just like, what happened?
So abrupt.
Yeah. I know. Turns. He's
So-
like, I made it to the 13-minute mark. I get my 2 ads. I'll throw this up. They're really
So-
here for my pretty face. We know what's going on.
Of course. So what do we learn? What are the good identity politics and what are the bad identity
Well, I
politics?
didn't learn shit, but but I'm a harsh critic, so
That's true.
I'm a tough learner. I don't learn real good.
So apparently the only coherent argument, I guess we could extrapolate from this rambling mess, is that it all depends on how good a whore you are.
Yeah,
you can
be
really
a good
sell
actor.
the pander.
Yeah.
Okay. You can really sell. If Hasan believes the lie,
Right.
then it's good. And if he doesn't, well, it's bad.
If you can fake that Spanish, so good.
Right. So I
Yeah.
guess, to be fair, he did bring up the female prison thing. So if he feels that you're making an irrelevant point.
Yeah.
So
that one was good.
though I don't, again, without numbers, I don't know how much more relevant transgender murder rates are to trans men getting abortions.
And I think the video title is literally called Good Identity Politics versus Bad Identity Politics.
Right.
Which is something we're talking about often, which is very,
Right.
very sad that he didn't really even touch on that.
So what is your good identity politics?
Well, interest groups rallying Congress based on their political interests outside of their immutable characteristics. Like banding together because we're both YouTubers. Right?
Sorry, I got a little distracted.
You're
because-
like the chat. My God.
No. Zofrats, who said she was going to sleep.
Oh no, she
I
sent
guess
you the
didn't.
pictures.
She just sent me a Twitter DM and says, "Why are people asking me for your nudes?" What did you say on the stream?
Oh my God. She's like, I went to bed and now my DMs are blowing up for nudes. They want the anime dick pic.
That's funny.
But anyway.
Sorry, you were saying interest rates.
Yes. Bounding together on interest groups other than, I mean, that's what our politics are about. Oh, interest groups over immutable characteristics. Like lumping people together is a problem because it creates stereotypes. Like not all black people are the same. Not
Right.
all Asian people are doctors. Sorry, Mr. Yang.
How
Like there
dare you.
are Asian people that are bad at math. Okay.
Yes. I mean, I
So,
don't know any, but I'm assuming
Not
they're
all
out there.
Jews are greedy. Just Sitch.
I mean, I don't know any that, but I'm assuming they're. I mean, wait a minute. What are we talking about?
So yes, no, these stereotypes are bad. Like we want to get away from the race and gender
But okay, but
stereotypes.
why is
But all
why is-
lawyers are greedy. Like you can say that because it's true.
how? But okay, but wait a minute. Why? Yeah, but why is identifying along interest group along some specific interest? Why is that a good identity?
Well, theoretically, because it's
Yes.
it's changeable. It's something that you chose of your own accord. You didn't choose to be gay. You didn't choose to be a woman. You didn't choose
Right.
to be black or white or whatever you are. You didn't choose that stuff. So I mean,
Okay.
discriminating against people because for things they can't control, well, theoretically, that's unfair. But discriminating against lawyers because everyone knows they're assholes is totally
Well,
fair.
but wait a minute. So you're just saying you're not saying it's good. It's a good identity politics. You're just saying it's more okay to discriminate against people for things they choose.
Yeah, I think that's why. Yeah, it is kind of just
but so-
an intuitive thing, but I mean, also
Right.
you have different interests. You would think that in the political realm, lawyers' interests would be more aligned than like Mexican people's interests,
Right.
because they're conservative Mexicans, they're liberal Mexicans. Like their interests are all. There's doctors and lawyers that are Mexicans. There's gardeners that are Mexicans, right? They all have different interests.
Right.
Yeah, interests are more occupationally and even class aligned. But oh no, don't.
Right. Well,
Let's not go there.
Okay.
How come Hasan Piker isn't mentioning the class distinction?
Yeah, that's true. He said class was the central thing, and he doesn't even talk about it. But no, I don't know. I think I disagree with you in that.
Oh, you disagree with me?
Yes.
Oh, this is going to get feisty.
I don't
guys.
think
Get
it's
ready.
necessarily morally good for people to break into identity groups based on interest, policy, or their job. I think it happens.
Well, how do you?
Bad. I think it's neutral. I don't think it's good or bad. It just is something that happens.
So then you're against collective bargaining then?
No.
No,
Not at all.
No.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I said it's neutral. It's neutral. It's inherently neutral.
What is collective bargaining based on?
Bad.
The whole reason why we have these race-based identity groups is because for collective bargaining reasons.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah.
No, I agree with collective bargaining in certain situations.
Right.
Okay. Like I'm very pro-union, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But I think in the broader terms of identity politics, if you're going to ask me what is a morally good identity politic, okay, that's always morally good. That's not can be good. I would say, I think you're limiting it to, American as a good identity group for Americans.
He's like one thing. I think. How do you win an election when we're all Americans?
Free speech.
I'm voting for the American candidate.
Anti-tribal. That's a great
Free
identity.
speech is an interest group.
No, but I'm not talking about interest group. I'm talking about the way that someone could identify themselves.
Right.
An identity group. And first of all, I don't know if that's really true anymore. It seems like lots of people, like us, like part of the reason that we are so against the woke regressive movement is because we view them as being anti-free speech.
Yeah. The fact that they let the free speech get out of the progressive column and into the conservative column is a crime against humanity. I cannot. What happened? What happened? That's such a loss. That's such a huge loss.
So the reason I think that these are good identity groups, well, I don't necessarily agree with what you're posing, is because I would think a morally good identity group would be a way that can create more unity in the country and less division, which maybe that's sort of oxymoronic because identity groups are the opposite of unity.
Well, I'm going to get you here because this is like the default is like race and gender and stuff like that. Like we just go there second nature.
Right.
The harder thing to do is to get interest groups based on other things, sports fans, that kind of thing. But the thing about those other interest groups is that they help reduce the racial tensions because you have overlap of the races and genders and whatnot. So that helps diffuse some of that natural,
I agree with that completely. Yeah.
Easy to go to tribalism, which is where we all often historically have gotten into the most trouble. Like most of the genocides and the stuff are based on ethnicity now.
But okay. Don't you agree that class identity is a bad identity group?
Well, maybe. I mean, I'm having difficulty on that one. Why is class a bad? Convince me, class is a bad identity group.
Okay, because it's too easy for the wealthy to have power over the non-wealthy people, right? Okay, so you don't want them to view the whole reason that identity politics is bad is because you don't want Americans viewing each other in these tribal ways. Because if you view each other in these tribal ways, you have the in-group, out-group preferences, which means that you don't care about subjugating the out-group.
Class is terrible. You've convinced me just because of the power and the power.
Exactly. So that's why, but that's why I have a little bit of problem with you saying people. It's a good identity politic for people to organize via their job, because you could have all the doctors, but all the doctors are going to be wealthy. And therefore,
I know.
Classes.
That's exactly what I was thinking. But there's some poor doctors in there, right? There's some overlap.
I guess there's some overlap, sure.
Oh my goodness. So there's just nothing but bad identity politics in your.
Well, no.
Your book.
As I said, I think good identity politics bring us to unite us, which
Right.
maybe
Yes.
that doesn't make sense because identity politics by its definition separates us.
Yeah, well, you're uniting in
So-
an identity apart from another identity. And if you don't interact with that other identity, that's great. But
Right.
like you're trying to
exactly.
say, we want to create the American identity, which I agree with, but it does get you into that, like, we're not going to do European style healthcare because we're Americans, God damn it.
Right.
We have our identity, they have theirs. Their identity works for healthcare, ours doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on in the chat?
I don't know what's going on
Are
in
you
the chat.
looking at pics?
I'm looking at my phone actually.
Okay, I figured
Someone sent me
you
a text message.
Seemed a little distracted, but I'll read some super chats.
I'll read super chats. You're
Okay.
bad at reading. You can read. Is there another Streamlabs?
What? I did really good on the Streamlabs.
You did do. That's true. You
I'm
did.
trying to compete here,
You did.
and all you're
Okay, if you
doing is
wanna read, it's
knocking me
fine.
down. We
You
did
can-
get one.
Okay. Okay.
Paradox
you can read
Engine
super
for
chat.
$2 says, "Is it just me, or is anyone else getting a mafia vibe from Castro?" Okay, I'm reading that on purpose now. Is it just
A
me, or is
mafia
anyone
vibe?
getting a mafia vibe from Castro? Like he has connections in the underworld.
I wasn't getting that at all. He's too. I mean, you know what? He kind of
know
looks like
Castro
the like
does. No.
since he's short, he kind of looks like the cartoon mobster guy, like from Looney Tunes, the really short gangster guy with the big hat.
Yeah, a little.
So maybe that's what he's talking about. He does look a little bit like that guy.
Oh wow, this has like a you can check them off as you go thing. Wow, you're gonna
Oh,
like
see?
this. You're gonna like
There
this
you go.
Streamlabs.
Paradox giving us lots of money. And see, the nice thing too about the Streamlabs is it shows us the total amount that someone has given us.
Yeah, exactly. So we know.
So we can see Paradox is just giving us all sorts of money.
Yeah, exactly. Now we know. Now we know.
Now we
You're
know.
you're part of the family now.
Well, he's paying me because we got into a super long Discord argument that went on for like 2 hours. So
Really?
He's just paying me what he owes me.
You're arguing on Discord. I got it. I contemplated doing like Discord hours just because the call-in shows.
Mm-hmm.
The call-in shows are cool, but I think a lot of people want to talk and they just don't want to talk on air. So they just would like to interact with you privately.
Oh.
So I'm thinking
Well, see-
like maybe once a week I'll do like an hour on Discord just to talk to people. Because I
There you
enjoy
go.
it. I mean, I really enjoy doing the call-in shows and stuff. So
That's usually how people set up their Patreons. They're like, oh, if you're a high-level Patreon, you get to talk to me on Discord.
yeah, it's funny because I was thinking of it like the college professor. Like they always do the office hours thing. Like, yeah, one day a week, anytime you just stop by, I'm gonna go hang out in my office. So I
Right.
mean, I could do some drawing. Like I'm always working on my computer anyway, so it wouldn't be any big deal to put Discord on one day a week.
Right.
We should do it at the same time, and then we could just argue with. Like if nobody shows up, we could just argue together.
We just argue with each other. That's
Yeah,
a good idea. We could try something like that. It'd be fun to do just like come argue with us. Because the thing about I like the call streams, but like I think most people don't. The people that call in obviously like it, but I don't think people like listening to it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, totally.
I'm not sure. So was that the only Streamlabs?
Yeah, got them all.
Okay.
Even though I read terrible, you
Even though you
bastard.
read terrible. Woodchuck00 for $5 says the middle class was also coined so people wouldn't use the term proletariat. God was also added to the pledge because communists are atheists. No, I knew about the God being added to the pledge thing. I knew that one. That's like a meme. I didn't know about the middle class being coined, so you wouldn't have to say proletariat. That's funny. So that's actually that's a rebranding I can agree with. Jonathan Stoffel for $1.99 says, forgot, point of personal privilege, me, my, mine. Thank you very much, Jonathan. I'm glad you fixed that. Okay.
Nice.
Our favorite super chatter for $10, Darth Fagit says it was never about representation. It's about power.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
We know what it's about.
Totally. Power.
I mean, that's what all this bullshit woke crap is anyway. It's trying to leverage power using white guilt.
Oh
That's what it
yeah. Yeah, they're like, "Oh man. We were mining for the wrong substance. We finally found it here." This is the gold of the century.
This is the gold
It's called
mine.
white guilt. And it
Yep,
just keeps
there it is.
coming.
Yep, exactly. Because we were doing so much better. We were on the path to progress.
Yeah.
And then they just stuck themselves in the butt cheek with the arrow. Okay. They said, well, I wonder what happened if I stab myself in the thigh while I'm running a marathon. Oh, they're bleeding to death. That's what's going to happen. Hummer Eduardo Rodriguez Medrano for 100 Mexican says Latin American identity is bullcrap.
Oh,
It's
there we
just
go.
a thing in America. We don't even like each other, even in America. I hate being called traitor for wanting rule of law. If you watch Telemundo, please stop.
I don't.
So there it is.
I don't. So I've already stopped.
No, you've already stopped. But yeah, no, exactly. I mean, look, every Latinx person I've talked to feels exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100%. Hummer Eduardo Rodriguez Medrano for another 50 Mexican says Ben Shapiro and some Republicans like the Tuesday group complain about Trump overreach, like when he tried to send emergency funds for the wall. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because Ben Shapiro originally didn't like Trump, right? He was very anti-Trump.
Anti-Trumper. Big time.
And he's libertarian, right? He's not conservative. Well, I mean, he's conservative, but he's libertarian.
Well, he didn't like Trump because the moral stuff, because he is conservative.
Right.
Like
but
he thought
isn't
Trump
he
was a bad
economically
role model.
libertarian or something?
I believe so, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. He's a weird guy because I always thought he was libertarian, but he's also kind of neocon because he's like socially neocon. Right.
He's conservative. Like he doesn't like that the fact that the president had sex with a porn star and everyone knows it.
Right.
He's like, this is terrible blot on society.
Okay. Well, I give Ben Shapiro, even though I don't like Ben Shapiro because I think all his worldview is based on his incredibly sheltered life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do give him points though that he seems like he's far more consistent with his beliefs than most people.
And consistency is important for you.
Consistency is very important.
Yeah. For you.
Because otherwise you're just making shit up.
For you, it's very important.
Yeah. You don't care about
most people. Oh no, I care about consistency.
Oh, okay.
I definitely care.
You just
care
kept
about
saying for you it's important.
No, it's the horrible thing about being in the situation we're in is it is important to us and like virtually nobody else. Like I always feel like people don't care about consistency. They really don't. Like,
right.
consistency is the first thing to go out the window whenever they're arguing anything.
Well, because we're evolved not to care. We're evolved to only care about consistency when it comes to our in-group.
Yeah.
You don't give a shit about that. That's the whole point. That's literally the entire point of the out-group is that you don't have to be consistent with how you treat them. That's literally the entire evolved point of the in-group out-group.
Yes.
And so I guess the difference is that I view it as, since I'm trying to label the in-group as America instead of Democrat or Republican, therefore that's why I care about consistency.
Yeah. That's funny because consistency is a signal that you're like a good cooperation partner. And even Hasan in his video, he's like making rules about consistency.
Yeah, because that's what his complaint against Castro. He was saying he wasn't.
You were inconsistent. Don't you know the rules?
Yeah, he was. That's why he's not being truthful because he's not being consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone cares about consistency, but only for the in-group.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
Because how else are you supposed to know whether someone's honest or not?
Yeah, totally.
Here's the PSA Sitch life rule, okay? Never go into business with someone who tells you stories about how they rip other people off.
Oh my God, that's not advice, dude. That's like common sense.
You say that, but how many times? This is what people when you listen to like all the online drama where like personalities get into trouble with streams and all this other shit, okay, and they break up.
Yeah.
Like you have groups of people get together and they break up. It's because you have two people who are on a stream together or work together, and they jokingly tell each other stories about how they fuck over other people, and they think it's funny.
Yeah, I don't like
right?
that. We never do that.
No, because the truth is, if someone is willing, you should
Yeah,
never. If
true.
someone is willing to screw someone else over, why would you think you'd be any different?
Totally.
It's like never. That's why here's another. It's a similar rule. Okay, don't date someone who's cheating on their significant other with you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Is that an uh-oh for
Is
you,
that like
Adam?
a hard rule or just like a soft rule?
Well, it's not a rule. It's a warning.
Okay.
Okay. Because the warning is if they were willing to cheat on someone with you.
What about how? Well, never mind.
if they're willing to cheat on someone with you, that means that they're a cheater. So they're far more willing to cheat on you with someone else.
What if the cheating?
You don't agree?
What if the cheating goes both ways?
Okay, well then it doesn't matter.
If we're both cheaters, okay.
Right.
Good. Problem solved. Let's move on.
Okay. I see something's going on here. We'll move on. It's fine. Isaac Yusuf for $4.99 says, Ayan is the only one of my ethnicity, Somalian, I admire. She is anti-Islam and not Muslim. Linda sucks, by the way. Sitch, you pronounced my name right. LOL.
Isak.
Wait, your name is Isak or Isaac?
Oh, wait. You did pronounce it right. Accidentally.
I accidentally pronounced it correct.
By the way, Stitch, you pronounced my name right. Lol.
There you go. I guess it's Isak. Okay, Isak. So sorry, Isaac.
Cell phoned.
Isaac, you're now Isaac from now on. Okay.
That's hilarious.
The binding of Isaac over here.
That's hilarious.
There you go. Yeah, it's true. I forget. It's annoying because Muslim means. It's so annoying because in America we kind of conflate Muslim to mean Middle Eastern when it doesn't, or even African, I guess, if we're talking about Somalia. So, but
cool.
Yeah, so
you have something in common. You guys hate the same person, which is, that's how people bond. That's how people become best friends.
Look, that's the mutually hating on something is like literally the best way to bond.
But don't brag about how you fucked them over. Come on, have some ethics.
No, I'm saying no. Everyone knows this.
Yes.
Ragging everyone, making fun of the same person is like the best way to bond with
totally.
That's the in-group, out-group I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's right there. You can see it. You can feel it. Lieutenant Amazel,
Amazon,
$5. Whatever. He's part of the D&D group. I can call him what the fuck I want. Okay. Fucking Dwarf Rogue wants a crossbow. Okay. What the fuck does he know about anything? Anyway, Lieutenant Amazel for $5 says, the face when I assume it's long enough that I missed the stream, but it's still going. It's a good feeling or not. It's a great feeling. It's the best feeling in the entire world.
The long stream people won. They did, because there was a lot of fights, and well, it's not as bad now that we're on your second channel. When we're on your main channel, they were like, "Oh my god, a Sitch video! Oh shit, it's 5 hours long." You were totally
5-hour-long edited Sitch videos is crazy.
You were sending mixed messages. You were totally yanking their chain, so
That's
they didn't
right.
like that.
Oh, I'm glad you brought it up because I keep meaning to ask you and I keep forgetting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I need, for my next video coming out, I need the best clip of you saying, "Your boy Adam."
Your boy Adam. There you go.
Your boy Adam. So what do you know? Which video do you have? You have to send me the link for a video where you do a good "Your boy Adam."
Your boy Adam. I just did it.
Yeah, but you got. I need your face. I'm gonna put your face in it.
Oh, what
It's
do
not
you
just
mean?
a sound clip.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can do it. No problem.
Thank you. Or you could just tell me when you did it.
Okay. I don't think I've ever done that in a video. Have I done that in a video? I don't know.
I thought you used to open your Think Club videos like, "It's your boy Adam."
But I'm never on camera when I do it. Hey everybody.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Hey everybody.
Okay. So you gotta give me a good "Your boy Adam," but with like your beautiful face.
On camera. I can do it.
On camera.
I can do it. Can I wear my cop glasses?
You can wear whatever you want.
Nice.
Whatever you want.
I think I'm gonna make a tall milkshake soy something or other from Starbucks. I'm gonna put on my ContraPoints outfit. It's gonna be so good.
Oh my god. Lieutenant Amazel for another $5 says, "To Adam for correcting him right." How do you say it? You said it right. How do you say it?
Amazel.
That's what I said. Amazel.
No,
what did
you
I
say Amazel.
Amazel.
It's Amazel.
Lieutenant Amazel. Amazel. But he's not an Amazon. Okay? So that's why I say Amazel. Amazel.
And don't you
Lieutenant-
hate on the crossbow.
Lieutenant Amazel says, and don't you hate on the crossbow. I'll hate on the crossbow all I fucking want, okay? You're a rogue. You get a little dagger and you stab people in the back. That's what rogues do. Come on.
What is this? Paradox Engine sent us a Streamlabs for $4.20. What is it? Is it a secret message? What does that mean?
God, what does it
420?
mean?
I'm in California. I think I know what you mean. Did you send
you
this?
You know?
Did you send this at 420? Because oh my God, that's like crossing the streams.
Oh my God, what does it say?
I'm paying because I'm catching up for all those times I wanted to super chat, but I don't want to give my Google ID.
There you go.
There you go.
Why is your Google ID embarrassing?
Oh, I don't want to give
boy 23 or something.
I don't want to give Google my ID, so he doesn't want to give Google.
He
doesn't want to out himself to Google. So,
Great.
so thank you, Paradox Engine, for prodding us to actually do the Streamlabs, because it's like a better deal. It's like 25%. Google takes 1/3, Streamlabs doesn't. And I think this actually goes like straight to PayPal, so it's actually a great deal.
No. I thought Google takes 10%.
No, I think they take 30%, man. Yeah.
Maybe I might be confusing them with
Yes.
Patreon.
Yeah.
So, the Animal Collective 1 for $4.99 says, "Are we still ignoring that Sitch? Some nails stay straight after it gets pounded. That's me. I stayed straight. Look, I didn't think of it that way. Okay, that's not what I meant. I was talking about if it happened hypothetically. Okay.
Oh, this happened, Sitch?
No, it's a hypothetical.
Oh, okay.
There's been no pounding of the Sitch. Okay.
Oh
No
my
pounding.
God.
Sitch is the pounder. I am the one who pounds. Okay. I'm not the poundee. I'm the pounder. So get it right.
So if you
And
go ahead.
I was gonna end the stream. On
Yeah,
that
no.
note, so,
Well, I just want to say also on the Streamlabs thing, like I'm totally new to Streamlabs, and there's a bunch of stuff that you can do to like change the little things that pop up and stuff like that. So I don't know if we have to get an account to do that, but if any of you are interested, let us know. But with that,
and on that note, on the fact that I am the pounder, we will wish you a good week, a good 2 weeks, because we will not be here next week. I'm sorry, but we will return the week after.
take care, everyone.
Do you have anything to say besides that, Adam? Anything important to add?
Let me think. Nah, that's good.
Okay.